What up, everybody? It's your boy Evan, one half of MF Pearl. We got the other half sitting behind the camera, making sure that we rolling. We got David back there.
Hey, everyone.
Yes, sir. You know what it is. Every Wednesday, Legends Only in the building. Volume 2, live at MFHQ. Disclaimer. Live at MFHQ is in fact not recorded live. It's actually a pre-recorded program. This episode contains sexually explicit content, so feel free to do what you wish with that information. If you could be so kind of like, follow, and subscribe for me. We go a very long way. New episodes every Wednesday. Now back to the show. Ooh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make sure that you guys keep showing love the way y'all do. It does wonders for us. So make sure you guys are, keeping up to date with all of our latest on the Instagrams at MF Pearl. You could also make sure that you follow and watch all of our full-length episodes on YouTube, or you can catch them on our website, mfpearl.com. Took a long time to design. Go check it out. And if you are watching or listening to any of these on your favorite streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Pod, Amazon Music, make sure you guys give it a rating, share it, like it, save it, whatever you can do to show love on those platforms. But let's get back to the episode. Look at that. We're under 2 minutes on that runtime. Too much jibber jabber. Today we have a peculiar guest, my guys, my family. I first met him way back when I was a young kid through basketball. I think we were just saying, I think we confirmed it was the McDonald's leagues. It might have been some city league, though. I'm really not too sure on which team it was. But outside of like those one early instances, I didn't really keep up with too much city league. So when I would be balling up at school, I wasn't really like familiar with other people that like weren't at my school the way some of my teammates were. But along the way, I joined cross country in middle school, and I recognized my old teammate back in the days when I was a youngin'. And then in high school, we played against each other because we were in the same district. And then now as adults, it's cool to see that like now we're sharing the same space within the creative industries. And so I really only have like a couple of friends that really, or like a couple of people that I can like trace back time like that. But to be able to kind of see that growth and to see a similar pathway and to see where he's going with the photography space these days, the cleanliness, the strategy behind it, it's very clean. There's not a lot of glitz and glamour behind, I think, the approach to it all. Mm-hmm. I really like how structured it is and how just like technically sound a lot of his photography is. And the way I've been seeing it through each shoot is I've been seeing the technical ability and the creative concept both leveling up each and every time. So every time that we also speak, I think we get into some of the specifics. And I like that our conversations are a little unique instead of the simple little creative talk amongst the camera scene. But hey, man. So it's interesting. Let's see here. He's steadily on the rise. I don't see any signs. I read the website. You took the dive in. You're making the commitment to do this for the rest of your life. So I really think I'm most excited to see just how you envision everything and how you take action on playing it all out. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, live at the HQ, we welcome Jordan ZAMUDIO. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going on, guys?
How we doing, Jordan?
I'm doing well, man. Good to see you guys.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for making the time.
It's been a minute. Last time we saw each other, I think, was formally Against the Grain, probably.
Yes.
The live show.
Sure. Crystal Poppin', Jordan Taylor.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
no,
the midnight session double banger too.
No, but the Against the Grain, man, that was something.
It's easy to confuse the two. They was all in the same space and everything.
For sure, but just like you said about me, man, I think you level up a lot and you do it consistently, bro. And I think, I'm mad appreciative for you and Dave just like pushing the line and creativity here in El Paso, bro. Like, for me, someone who kind of like gets lost in my own shit, I lose like sight of like how can I level up. But then I look at some of the things that you guys are doing, and I'm like, man. You guys are just pushing and trying to do more and more each and every time and trying to do it at a higher standard every time. And, that's something like really appreciative. I'm mad grateful I got to meet you guys and to get to hang out and do this stuff with you guys and have these conversations, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Super appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. We're just as thankful that you're here. I love being able to talk to people that I like respect in the creative space because there's a lot of stuff to pick someone's brain about. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So let's get started with introducing you to the audience just a little bit.
Okay.
I know we have some mutuals, but for the people that don't know, how would you describe your contribution to the photography industry here in El Paso?
My contribution to me, I think, would be my standard and my positivity. I like to give a lot of credit to a lot of the photographers we have in El Paso. I think a lot of photography in El Paso gets overlooked because we're such a small town, but when you live here, you notice that there's so much talent out here, so much talent. You know what I'm saying? But I like to think that I'm not in competition with these people. These people are my peers, but at the same time, like I like to push the standard for these people.
That's a
Like,
good way to put it.
you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to like the technical aspect of it, at the beginning of my photography journey, there were certain things that I knew I wanted to do. I could see in my mind that there was something that I could produce, but I just wasn't there yet. You know what I'm saying? It took me a lot of time to get to like the standard I'm at now. And now that I'm here, it's like I got here and I'm like, damn, even being here now, looking back 4 years, I was like, man, I can't wait to be there. And I'm here now and it's like, I'm not even close to where I want to be technically and standing creatively, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I like to think my contribution is just the love and the effort I put into trying to be the best photographer for myself, because I feel like that promotes and pushes other people just in an organic way and in a non-competitive way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I think you said on the site when you're talking about yourself, you started at 23.
Yeah, I started at 23, just kind of like as a hobby. I think I did it for the first 2 years. It was more about just like I saw something cool and I wanted to take a picture. And at the time, I was using a Sony A33. It was 14 megapixels. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted a camera and I just wanted to shoot like genuinely. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what was it? Like shoes? What was it that you were trying to shoot?
nah, the first thing that started was cacti.
Really?
Yeah, which
So
was
hikes
something
and
simple.
stuff going out?
Going on the hikes, man. I started with my camera phone. Like, I just saw like cool shit that I wanted to take photos of one day, and I just started on that. And once I realized I liked it, funny enough, like 2 weeks after that thought, my dad comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, we refinanced your car. We got some change back," and he threw me like $300. And I was like, "I'll just go buy a camera." You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing it on my phone.
Yeah.
And that's how I got that 833. And then from there, I just kept 2 years just messing around, trying to understand like how a camera worked. You know what I'm saying? I never really like had a camera growing up. I didn't understand how to shoot manually. I shot automatic for like the first year. You know what I'm saying? Like just trying to get cool shit, that sort of thing, and just posting it. That's but
man, well, what is now that you've gone ahead and had some years under your belt with photography, and somebody was in your spot, you know, just trying to figure it out. Because I have like my favorite way of telling people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I go by the three basics, obviously the three fundamentals of photography, and as long as you know those three.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, and you're so right. Like if you can
how would you frame your words if you had to like just give someone like I don't know, how would you call it, like you only have like 5 minutes real quick to just like show them how to use their camera before they're gonna go into a graduation shoot, their first grad shoot.
Yeah, I think one of the first things I show them is obviously how to use it, like just how to control your dials, like knowing what your ISO and your aperture and your shutter speed, those basic three elements, just knowing what they are and how they work, I think is super key, super key. And once you give them that kind of like basic rundown, I tell people just learn your histogram. It's funny because we live in a time where it's like we have the technology, it literally does it for us. You just have to learn how to read what the technology is kind of giving you. And if I could break it down, it's like, yeah, learn those three elements, boom. And also learn your histogram. If you can learn when I learned the histogram, it changed my entire, my entire outlook. Because every time I would shoot after that, it was like, that's what I was paying attention to. Because it would literally just like, it would do all the thinking for me. I could look at my camera and tell you what a good photo looks like. But the histogram would like break it down for me and be like, you're missing certain light in this area, certain light in that area. So whenever someone comes up to me and like, trying to get better, I can tell that they need some type of like, just like some type of advice to like level them up just a little bit. Mm-hmm. I always refer to the histogram. That's like the number one thing. It's like, it's there to me. That's the number one thing that helps me like understand what it is to take a good photo. I don't know if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. I'm gonna have to see how you use it then, because honestly, I've always ignored it. I don't use the histogram to this day. I just kind of I trust a lot of posts with photography. I'm weird, man. I don't really consider any sort of like specialty behind photography at all. I kind of like wing it and I go based off the three only.
Yeah.
Aperture, ISO, but if I'm looking at that chart, I don't necessarily know what it's telling me. Like if there's too many highlights or not enough shadows, I don't really know how to read that stuff. I just sent a picture to David the other day. I was like, yo, I actually just started using the color grading tools on Lightroom. What y'all think? And I just get a text back like, it's kind of too green.
Hey, at least you got honest people
And I
around
was
you
just
like
like,
that, though.
damn, dude. I was going for that. I wanted it to look vintage. You
Hey,
know?
but hey, those are the people you want around you, though. The ones that can
Yeah, I
like
feel
literally
you, I
tell
feel
you it's kind of warm, or like
Yeah.
you should tweak it here type stuff. Because I get around a lot of people that just like gas me for certain things. I could show them a bad photo that I know is bad, and they'll just be like, oh my, they'll just
I know
start
what you're
going,
talking
and
about,
I'm just
bro.
like,
Y'all
yeah,
tripping, bro.
yeah, yeah.
What
I'm
you
not
talking
gonna sit here and like not take a compliment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it's just like.
But deep down, you're like, this
Alright.
guy don't know shit. Dog.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, like, but to me, like, you get to see like the psychology behind a photo and like why people like certain photos. And it's the little things, like the technicality that you were talking about at the beginning. Like, I saw that early on, and I was like, I feel like a lot of people like little things about photos. It's not necessarily like the entire photo. There are certain elements about a photo that just like draws the attention of people, and there are certain aesthetics that people are just like, oh man, we like that. But even if the aesthetic looks good, but the quality of the photo taken is like, subpar, mid, it'll still push. We live in that day and age where there's so much content out there that people don't know how to discern for themselves, like, what is a quality photo versus like what is something that just looks cool. The whole histogram thing, man. The only reason I know about that and I like found out about that was through a coworker at when I was working at Parkland High School. Shout out to Fritz Kepler, man. Super intelligent guy. Like he was my teacher in high school, and and when I got to work with him, he told me he did photography. So we just sit down sometimes and just talk about it. And he just shoots black and white. So when I would show him my black and whites, he would critique them, and he critiqued them hard. But it's like I wanted that. I told him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know that's gonna make me better. And he kind of like broke it down. He's like, when you take a black and white photo, you want to hit every value in between. And he's like, you want to hit a little bit of darks,
Yeah, he's talking some
blacks,
real shit with values.
Yeah, shadows, midtones. You want to hit everything. And then when I learned about the histogram and like how those values are broken down, I just connected the dots and I was like, holy shit! Like, if I can just implement those two ideas and like make them work in a way that I understand and like I can produce a good photo based off of that knowledge. Cool, you know what I'm saying? And he was like I said, he was the first guy that like really put me on, and it was so like organic and random. I never thought that sitting down with that man would like influence me in the way that he did. You know what I'm saying? And whenever I see him, I'm always mad grateful because I know like without those conversations about simple things like values, it's like I would not be here shooting the way that I do now. You know what I'm saying? Like the importance of a conversation, like
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. Aside from the technical stuff, I guess what's your approach now? Jumping from histograms to creative concepts.
Yeah, so that was like that's a great question because when I got to the point of like, technically I know I was sound. I
Okay.
understood it at a level that I was like, anything I do now, I know I can produce it at a good,
You're
at
more
a high
deliberate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can produce it at a high standard, but it's like, I was struggling at one point with like, well, I want to be more creative. I know I can take quality photos, but when I looked at my photos, I was like, there's just nothing that's speaking to me.
What type of photos are you also doing at this time? Are they more like gigs?
Yeah, they're more gigs, but
There's
I'm
less.
also.
Do you feel like there's less creativity in a gig?
um,
Maybe not a creative shoot, obviously, but like a grad shoot.
I would say for
Yeah,
sure. Like I try and
engagement shoot.
I try as much as I can to like push some creative ideas on clients just to see like what they're in for. But a lot of the time, like when you're shooting gigs, they just want nice photos.
They want the standards.
Yeah, they want the technically sound and they're like, cool, I can give you that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would have to find time between like the full time job and doing those gigs to like think like, all right, I need to plan and premeditate this particular shoot because I need to work on X, Y, and Z with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, man, how do I get to that creative point in the journey? Like, and I was trying to discern, like, well, what is an artist? And I forget what post it was. I posted a picture, and I legit kind of like broke it down in the caption, like, what is an artist? Like, when you think about that question, like, it's so broad. You can answer it in so many ways because there's so many mediums in which you can express yourself. And I remember going to this guy, Fritz Kepler, that teacher, and I asked him, I was like, this is like what I'm thinking about. Like, can you help me like try and understand what it is that I'm trying to like get to? And he was like, I broke it down for him. And he's like, I think you're trying to understand the difference between, what it is to be technical and what it is to be an artist. And I was like, yeah, like that's what it is. And he's just like, he told me, he was like, we just kept going about that conversation, but just him kind of like breaking it down for me, like, you're technical, but you're not an artist. And I'm like, well, how can I get from where I'm at to where I'm trying to go? And he's like, there's these practices you can do, and they're called oblique practices. And what you do is everything that you know about your craft and how to do it, do the opposite. Even if it feels wrong, just doing that will open your mind up to like other ideas and things that you could not see before because you're so in your lane. And I was like, all right. So after that, the next weekend, I went downtown and I shot just like street photography, but I shot everything out of focus.
Oh, that's the only thing I was thinking of right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Blur.
Yeah, like I was just like, how can I be creative? And I was like, well, every time I shoot, I know that I want my subject in focus and I want to frame it right. And I was like, what if I just try and be like, what if I'm trying to make sense all the time? Like, I just don't want to make sense right now. I just want to go and try and create some abstract shit that looks cool to me, period. Not because I'm trying to like no, I'm not trying to push anything out there that people want. I'm trying to create things that I like. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think like the definition of creativity is freedom?
The removal of expectations.
Ooh.
Because like the standard, even your own personal standard, is boxing in creativity. So like how Evan said, like proper creativity requires full creativity. If that makes any sense.
Like no expectations. You're
Mm-hmm.
not
Right.
you're not expecting this to make you big,
No
blow up your
standard.
audience or blow up your Instagram.
But even like on the technical side,
That's
like,
when you're willing to like make a mistake or have something be mid in case,
yeah,
on the technical side. Oh, like blurring up a photo and
exactly,
stuff?
yeah,
I
yeah.
get what you're saying.
Legit, like, you know what I'm saying? And
You had to learn the rules first, so now you're allowed to break them. Sort of
True,
path as
yeah.
well.
well said, Evan. Yes, bro. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is like I forget who said it. It was like the Dalai Lama or some shit. I don't even know. But he goes like, it's one of my favorite quotes. He goes, one must learn how to first follow the rules in order to learn how to appropriately break them.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I apply this to life, but yeah, that's legit like creativity too. And if and after doing that whole thought about like, just that thought about, why does it have to always make sense? Like I kept asking myself, like, why can't I just do something that I just like? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was legit trying to like break apart from like that paradigm in my own mind. Like, it don't gotta make, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm thinking so hard about it this way that there's this little voice in my head that's just like, you gotta do something different. And there's this post that I posted, there's this picture that I took with one of my friends, Gato, she's wearing a yellow, she's in all yellow pants and a yellow North Face, and it's backwards, and she has red boots on, and she's on a tennis court.
Oh,
You know what I'm
that's a
talking about?
banger one,
And
dude.
that one was, I literally told myself, I'm just gonna go find something that looks cool, and I'm just gonna do
Man.
something that just doesn't make any sense, but I just like it.
I think that's one of your best photos too, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a hitter, dude.
And what's funny is like,
I know exactly what you're
that's at
talking
Parkland
about.
High School, and I was at work, just like walking with one of my students, and I see this yellow chair sitting in the tennis court, and I'm just like, that's a dope ass colorway, like, and I was hella inspired by that, and I was just that simple thing, and I was like, all right. So I just took that shit and I ran with it, and we found that red crate that she's standing on in the photo. We found it there. It was super organic, you know what I'm saying? I had her stand on it, had her do some weird poses, and I was just like, all right, yeah, like I fuck with that, like, and from then on, it was like something in my mind had changed about the way I shoot. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, bro, like, and people liked it, which would trip me out because I was like, this is so weird to me. Like, I'll put it out, and it got some good feedback. So I was like, I guess what I'm thinking is like, I'm on that right path. It was affirmation. I'm on that right path. Like, I don't have to always do things that make sense and like are always like, how would you say, like in line with my technicality and stuff. Sometimes I should just do shit that just doesn't make sense because the ideas that come from, random spontaneity are things that, you would have never thought of without doing it. Just trying to put yourself out there type shit,
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's a rock and a hard place, but do you ever get frustrated sometimes when the ideas that come on the fly are more successful than the ones that like you really plotted out?
No, not really. I don't really get frustrated. It makes me laugh because, like I said, there are times where people are just like gassing photos that I'm like, what? And there are times where I'm just like, I'm just gonna put this out. Like, I'm gonna put this out because I know I need to for the algorithm, and I put it out, and it gets crazy feedback. And you hear that all the time from artists that like, they just throw shit together, and that's like their biggest hit. You know what I'm saying? And not that I'm throwing big hits out there, but it's just like not thinking about what you're creating and just doing you, like literally just like putting yourself out there in your medium,
Yeah.
without thinking, to me, is like, that's creativity. You know what I'm saying? Because when you break it down, it's like, I can be creative. I could draw some shit. I'm not an artist. I could draw some shit, but it's just like, I'm thinking about what I want to draw. And sometimes like we're having this conversation right now and I'm like just speaking to you off riff.
Yeah.
To me, that's the same thing. Like language arts is a thing.
So it's like from listening from your own truths, you're listening to your passion.
Can you ask that in a different way?
So like I think one way that you can maybe interpret it is like you do things like how you said, like you kind of do things that you yourself are like, this doesn't make, but I'm just gonna do it because I feel like I should.
Right.
Because in the moment this looks cool. So it's like what you're doing is instead of listening to your own truths, instead you're listening to your own passion, because that's where that's coming from.
Yeah,
It's
for
like your
sure.
art.
For sure. It's almost like this is like the importance of knowing yourself, because sometimes like the only reason I know I have to separate myself from like what I usually think about is because if I continue to do what I do, then I'm living in like a linear way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if I continue to do that, I can tell you the trajectory. I can kind of see if you just continue to do things, and this is like habits in everyday lifestyle. If you continue to do the things on a daily basis the same way, you can kind of project where you're kind of going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think, and to me, like that's mundane. Like I just don't do good with mundane life. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys seen that Sopranos post where Chrissy's like, just real fucking the regularness of real life. I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just little shit like that. Like the creativity part is like I like doing the gigs, you know what I'm saying, making money doing what I love, but it's like at some point it's so mundane that I'm like I need to do something that I'm just like it's organic. I just
Right.
need to show up with my camera and just like tell a model, I just need you to show up. Just because I don't know what I want to do, I just need you to be there because I just need to just get something out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired of doing the same thing over and over. And it's creative because I'm creating and I'm editing, but I'm not creating something that I'm passionate about and something that is just like a piece of me. I'm creating something for somebody else because they have an idea of what they want, you know?
Yeah. In order to keep photography from being mundane as a whole, what do you also kind of I guess what do you also practice outside of the camera that kind of allows you to fuel the passion? Because I'm not gonna lie, working at 1010, there's something about it where like I get out of work and I'm like, okay, cool, man. Usually I have a social media job or some shit, and so like after I get out of work, it's just more fucking design and photography.
Right.
But this was that opportunity where I'm like, okay, cool, I get to step away from all that shit for a quick sec and do something completely fucking different. Where I actually needed to I was like a beginner at first, you know, so I was like, oh shit, I'm not the best one here, you know? But you know how it is. I started running laps around people. I'm a fast learner and shit.
Yeah.
But I guess in your life right now, what do you think is there that's challenging you? Because I mean, we're always seeking those challenges in our main craft.
Yeah.
But I think as creatives, we always find something else like naturally to challenge us. Is there anything that's going on right now?
In particular, nah. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I wish there was, and you just saying that is like inspiring me. Like, damn, I do need to do some other shit that is like gonna inspire me creatively and push like that creative muscle in my mind. But for now, it's mostly just like trying to navigate life and like do it in a way that
Doesn't come off mundane?
doesn't
Do you
come
fit
off
routine
mundane.
in your life at all? There has to be some routine.
Absolutely. I think there's a balance to it all.
Okay,
Like I
yes.
don't like to think that you should live on either side of that spectrum. There's always that gray area I think you should learn how to navigate
Yeah.
between. But I think lifestyle is huge, man. I think like I've always been big into like health and like
Okay.
eating right and stuff like that. Like to me it's photography, it's my health, and then whatever it is I got to do to like keep my head above water in society, which is like have a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Your sturdiness.
yeah, for sure.
Foundation.
you got to, bro. But
Yeah.
and I think that's a lot of lifestyle. Like just keeping my head above water is just like lifestyle. Like I'm big on the things that I do outside of photography influence my photography. Like I'm huge on that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the people I surround myself with, my daily habits, the routine, like I don't have like some crazy routine, but I know that every week I'm trying to work out at least 5 times a week.
Okay.
And whether it be running or weightlifting, it's just like I know that puts me in a better position you know, in the coming days, in the future, to like be as creative as I want to be and produce better thoughts. I mean, anyone who's gone on like a health journey knows if you're in a shitty position in your health and then you change your lifestyle and you're, you know, eating right and exercising, you have better thoughts.
Yeah.
Like it's just easier to be yourself and express yourself. You know what I'm saying? So creatively, I wouldn't say I'm doing too much to like challenge myself right now, other than just photography. Like that's mainly like I think that's all I think about.
Are there
You know what I'm
non-creative
saying?
challenges? Like the way you say you're trying to figure out some aspects of the life side.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? Like the business aspect.
Okay.
That's you know it's funny because like it's like photography is one thing and that's the creative artist about it. That's the
Yeah.
artistry. But it's like the business side is like it's a whole different monster.
And that's what easily separates
Yes.
like this tier of photographers
Yes.
or any creative and this tier of
Literally.
creative.
Literally. And like
Is understanding that business side straight up.
and it's choosing to go down that path too. I know at the beginning I was very reluctant to do it because I didn't want the business side to, you know, interfere with the creative artist side. And sometimes it does. Like I want to make money doing what I love to do, but I also don't want to be motivated by money whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I had a friend ask me early on, you know, is the goal to be like, you know, professional photographer to get paid, full-time photography? I was like, of course, that's a dream. I was like, but I think my utmost goal is to just get paid to be creative, period. Like in any aspect, you know what I'm saying? Like I think I bring a certain outlook to any creative space that somebody would value. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's my standards. It's like, it's my ability to like pull things together out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? That organic way of like just showing up to a shoot and being like, that looks cool with that. Like, let's just throw it together, that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the chops,
Mm-hmm.
the resourcefulness.
Yes.
The mezcal.
Ooh, right.
With the house stuff too, if you're gonna have a drink, do you usually opt for something clear rather than like a beer or something?
Yeah, now that I'm a little bit older and like I've had experience in like the drinking scene, the bar scene and stuff, like now I think I'm way more calculated about the way that I like go about my vices.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, okay, that's a good way to say it. Yes.
For sure. Like, don't get me wrong. There's certain days where I give myself like a month, and I tell everyone I give myself one day out of the month to just get fucked up,
You're blitzed.
just to like let go of the reins for a little bit and just be like, have fun, bro. Do that. You know what I'm saying? But
Allow your subconscious to reign free for a bit.
yeah, you know
What
what
do I
I'm saying?
really want to say?
Exactly, dog. Exactly. Just kind of let go.
Yeah.
But yeah, more so like now I'm definitely drinking like more tequila mezcal just because that's more when you look at the health journey, that's just more like it's less detrimental than like drinking 10 beers a night just to get tore up. You know what I'm saying? I think when I drink more beer than I do liquor, the next morning is just
Yeah, dude, you're just extra dehydrated,
gosh, bro.
bloated.
oh my god. And now with mezcal, it's like I can have a 2 or 3 and I could feel that type of that tipsy I want to be at or that drunk I want to be at, and I could be like, all right, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'll just start drinking water.
You
It's
had
like,
way less volume.
way less volume.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Feel
I
less
don't walk
bloated.
out the bar like.
Oh,
yeah.
it sucks because like I don't agree. Like I'm a
Yeah.
craft beer guy.
Yeah, I
dude.
know you
I had
are,
like
dude.
4 mass ascensions last night, dude. 4 fat
Oh,
IPAs,
yeah.
man. And I felt it for sure, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, I try to. It's. I'm big on like working out,
Mhm.
but man, diet is just that one thing I've never solidified, and it's
Yeah.
crazy because I still wake up sometimes feeling like, oh, dude, my chest hurts and stuff, and I'm
Mhm.
like, that's crazy because if you give me like 10 minutes, I can go hit you with a 10K though. Like I can still hit you with one. Like, so I just wonder where I'd be like if I was completely dialed in.
I hear that.
You know what I
hear
mean?
that. You know,
And that's what I think when you say you just want to be paid to be creative. It's like how creative can you be when money isn't weighing on your mind?
well said.
That's
man.
why the sponsorship was big for us because like it really allowed us to just kind of like have still the capacity to launch the pod too
like financial
simultaneously.
freedom type of thing.
A
like,
little bit, you know, just
yeah.
enough for us to like,
Wow.
okay, the season's good to go.
Yeah, yeah.
We know how many episodes we can plan for.
For sure, for sure.
It's not up in the air and shit like that. So I
Um,
completely I understand what you mean by like money is the goal, but it can't be like the motivator, you know what I mean? It can't be the ultimatum.
Right, and you know, I'm one of those people. You call me what you want, but I'm like big on like I just don't like the whole capitalist
Yeah.
ideals and stuff like that. Like you and you meet when you get older, you meet people who are just so dialed into that type of way of thinking. Like, how do I make the most money and spend without spending the most?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like in doing it, just having those type of thoughts, like you miss out on a lot of like human connection and just like a lot of like, how do you even say, like you just miss out on a lot. You know, you're just thinking about money, you're thinking about numbers, and it's like you just at some point you, let's say you start when you're 20, you're trying to make the most money, you're 50, 30 years later, it's just like you made the most money, but just like
You're too busy thinking about what's gonna happen at 50.
yeah,
I
like
get what
you,
you're saying.
you were trying to make sure that you were taken care of at some point instead of just enjoying the journey. You know what I'm saying? You can be as cliche as you want in terms of just like, you know, it's not about like the destination, it's the journey. You know what I'm saying? But low key, when you get older, you kind of figure it out. It kind of is like that. You know what I'm saying? You can have goals and stuff, but if you're not enjoying getting there, it's like, well, what's the point?
Yeah, you
You
might
know?
as well just pick a whole different destination.
Literally, like,
I get what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying? It's great to have goals, but I think you should definitely find that balance in your life to enjoy the way to get there. Like, because there's a lot of cool shit that happens along the way and a lot of little things that happen along the way that you're just like, oh shit, like, at least for me, there's a lot of little things that happen. I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm not alone in this. There's little things that I'm doing or little things that are happening around me that are influencing my trajectory at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, dopest part about creativity, in my opinion, is like taking a couple steps and realizing as soon as you take a couple steps, the next few steps will kind of reveal themselves. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys experienced that, but it's like along my way, it's like that's how it was. It's like I was hella scared to get going into like shooting weddings and shit. But when I started, it just seemed like things unfolded in a way that somebody else folded them perfectly that way for me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, holy shit, like, but yeah, I don't know what question that got me there. But yeah.
It's all right. That's why we record it, so we can just
Dope.
check it out later. Yeah, I feel that way a little bit with the pod, in a way. Like we talked about it like a while back, and I guess for just neglectful reasons and for just choosing to spend my money elsewhere, took us forever to get the gear, like the microphones, and the mixer was finally
Word.
brought up in question. Like David had the mic already. I took an extra year or whatever to get it.
Mhm.
The thing is though is that once we took the steps to the pod, we've been able to see some opportunities already start to reveal themselves, all because we're just inviting people to come talk to us. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
yeah.
it's such a organic project so far that's allowed for us to just get connected with people who have problems and needs that we're kind of like equipped to like offer at least to solve, you know?
For sure. And I think there's wisdom in that, bro, in terms of just like sometimes you have these we have these ideas and they seem crazy because they're unconventional or they're just like it's something we know that
They're unconventional or everyone's doing it. So it's like, oh, you too?
yeah,
You
so
know
it's
what I
just
mean?
like why should I do it? But to me the importance of doing those of just pushing ideas that come to you naturally is that once you hit that idea, more than likely, at least from my experience, other ideas spur from that one or more opportunities. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you're opening one door to walk into a room to realize there's more doors.
Yeah.
It's like you can't be scared to try shit that you've never done. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, then you're gonna limit yourself and just at some point get, like I said, get bored or get caught up in doing all the wrong shit for the wrong reasons, like trying to just book shoots because you're trying to make as much money as you can, which is not to knock no one. Like that's fine if that's your approach to photography, so be it. You know what I'm saying? Some people got families to feed, and that's cool. But it's just like me personally, like it's just so much more than about making money. Like, and I told everyone at the beginning, it's not about the money for me. Like when people started asking me for like shoots and shit, it was like $20. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like throw me $20. Like, and they're like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, this is not what I really do. I just like to do it. And then at some point, like I understand that I hit a certain standard, and that was the only reason like I got super serious because I was like, oh shit, like by doing those little things that kind of scared me, and then I was just like, well, this is not really my thing, but I'm gonna try it. By doing that, it got me to where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say there's mad wisdom in just like doing shit that I guess seems like unconventional for yourself, but you know, and at the same time, things that you doing things that you feel like other people are going to critique. It's like, bro, people are going to like critique you no matter what you're doing. You could be at working at Walmart and people can look at you and be like, she don't even stock that shit right. She stocked that shit so lame. You know what I'm saying? Like people are always going to talk shit. Like when it comes to creativity, I feel like you just have to always continue like just to push, just do the whole point is to express yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do it to make money as much as you want. all good, and that's all fair. You can, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but be creative as you, be as creative as you want. But at some point, like, be honest with yourself. Are you doing this because you really like it, or are you doing this because, you're just trying to make a couple extra bucks? And I think when you ask yourself that question and you being real with yourself, I think the way you produce after that is pretty apparent to your peers, people in the creative community for sure.
That's funny. I was watching this guy that was serving us drinks at the bar yesterday, and he cashed us out. The receipts popped out. This was before like early in the day too. But one of the receipts fell out of his hand and he didn't see it. And I was just talking out loud, like quietly. I was just like, oh, look at this guy. He didn't even know. He's looking for the other check. He didn't even know it fell out. I was like, this fucking guy. I'm over here judging him on his performance at his job, bro. So when you said you could judge someone by stocking shelves, like,
Yeah.
I was thinking about it too. Especially now, bro. Like, I'll look at our inventory shelves sometimes. And now that I have a new appreciation for that, I know I'm gonna be nitpicky whenever I'm just like out and about at other just places that have shelves of some sort,
Yeah,
I'm excited to just like see how I am about all that.
for sure.
Yeah, dude, I feel like the standard that I've built through MF Pearl has started to leak out into the other aspects of everything else. At first, it was kind of like reverse. I think some of the vices that I had that were still like, I didn't have full control over them. Sometimes I drink too much and I drink for the wrong reasons. And once I drink, that opens the portal or opens the door to just a bunch of other dumb shit. So I feel like that stuff was leaking into MF Pearl at first in the beginning, and David could attest to that shit. Like, I was getting in our way a lot, but then it started to reverse to where I think the qualities that we were displaying in MF started to leak out into like my personal life, and that's how I really thrive, dude, because like that attention to detail, that like need for it to be the best in the city, even if it's in a competitive sense, bro. Like Jordan and Kobe already like made it okay for us to like create these false narratives in our heads, bro. So sometimes, I mean, obviously I'm not to that level because I feel like that athleticism, that environment calls for like a more dramatic approach to that. But yeah, I mean, I'll be competitive in my head about wanting to be the best like platform, the best productions,
Right.
and I think all that is just starting to show up in like everything else that I'm doing.
Yeah.
In your site, you say the only people that get in, the only thing in our way is ourselves.
Right.
I feel like you have to have personal experience in order to like conjure that up. What are some examples of you being in your own way that you had to like wake up on that?
Yeah, obviously, one of the biggest ones was like me being hella shy and like not very expressive, like in the early adulthood. You know what I'm saying? So like being afraid of what people thought was huge. Like that was a big one for me. I just like, yeah, just like trying to be myself without caring about what other people thought. That was huge for me. And like even now, like I've gotten better at it, but even now I'm still thinking about like, oh man, I don't know if like these are gonna be good or whatever. But something funny, my friend Memo, I was talking to him the other day and I was like, man, I just did some photos and they're just like, man, I don't know how I feel about them. And he's like, yeah, but I bet you're taking better photos now than you were a year ago. And I was like, yeah, I kind of am. And he's like, your standard's going, bro. You just got to keep doing it. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So it was one of those things I was just like, stop getting in my own head about like, always doing things perfect. I think that's a huge one for me is like my standard is so high that I try and get everything to that standard without realizing like, you can't always produce perfect work, bro. You can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a flip of the coin, and like light isn't optimal, or the model isn't very familiar with certain poses. So it's like there's a lot of variables that go into it. So if all of those variables don't like line up, it's like at least you tried, shit. You know what I'm saying? At least like you're doing your best to make sure that the photos you're producing are in a way standard, like decent for you. Like you're okay with posting them because like, yeah, they're alright. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that if I put this out there, like people aren't gonna hate it, but it's just like, yeah, they're not perfect. And I think that, like you said, like if there's one of those things that like limits me and like is hard for me to get over, it's like when I'm editing photos and I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I not think of this? Like, why did I not fix this? And it's so hard to just get through like editing sometimes because I'm like, damn, like I just don't like this. Like I know I could have done better. You know what I'm saying? So I'll literally take longer on a shoot that I didn't like how I performed than versus something that I loved. And I look at the photos later, I'm like, I can edit this all tomorrow because I just love doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I think getting out of my own way in a sense of always trying to be perfect and always trying to produce like things that make sense. Again, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like I said, it doesn't have to make sense. Sometimes you just got to do shit and
Yeah.
try your best, and you know, maybe it'll come out good, and maybe it won't. But shit, at least you tried.
Yeah. Being shy.
Yeah, for
How has the journey been of like posing people, especially as you start to introduce different styles of shoots?
Yeah.
I know you're doing a little bit more risque shoots sometimes too now. So like, how has that process been on just being more confident and collaborating with a model?
Yeah, that's been something I've been working on as of lately because that's something I know I need to work in is just like directing my subjects in a way that I can take a photo of just them standing there and it'll look decent, but it's like how do I create a photo like I said that says something to me later or says something to an audience.
You know how some people try to like tell a story within a photo?
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking at things within one photo, or do you look at it throughout a gallery?
Yeah,
You
it's
get
like
what I'm saying?
yeah, to me it's more of a gallery. Like I'm taking a photo of a scene and it's a moment, but I'm trying to like tell a story with the entire gallery. Like what is this
Are
person
you being
doing?
intentional when you're picking the 10 that you're gonna post and shit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This is a
Like
little bit of a sidebar, but
for sure. No, for sure. Like anytime I'm like shooting, like I make sure like whatever I'm doing has to be curated. And I tell people like when I get into the creative portraits, I ask a lot of questions about the model because it's like everything. I want to be aware of everything. I want to curate every little detail that I possibly can because like I said, when people look at photos, it's a lot of the little things, you know what I'm saying? So to me it's like asking a lot of questions, just trying to like find better ways to convey the message I'm trying to convey like the image I'm trying to capture to my model. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, directing. That's what it is. And I
that
think
helps with the posing, right?
legit like, and I had a friend kind of tell me like, cause I told her I was like, you know, I feel like I just shot with someone and I was like, yo, like where could I be better in terms of like posing like models? And she's like, you know, you don't speak so literal. She's like, why don't you try using like, you know, try and act like you're mashing potatoes or act like you're doing something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was kind of like sparking my, just trying to like get me to think differently about like going into a shoot and being like, all right, instead of you just standing there and you turning this way and you looking like this, it's like, now I want to like tell the model, hey, this is what I'm going for. This is the vibe I'm going for. This is the story I'm trying to tell in this shoot. Like, I just need you to kind of like get in that zone in a way. You know what I'm saying? And by putting them in certain poses, you know, I'm always very clear. Like, I'm gonna put you in a pose. I could put you in a template pose, but I want you just to be you. Like, a lot of times I pick people to take shoots because I know I've talked to them. Like, their personality is honestly what I like. You know what I'm saying? I've taken pretty pictures of people before just because I wanted to like practice. But I've also picked certain people to take pictures with because they just have cool personalities. Their mannerisms are cool, just the way they look. When I'm talking to them, they do certain little things, little idiosyncrasies about themselves that I'm just like, that'd be cool to like shoot. You know what I'm saying? So getting them in that space and then getting them to be comfortable enough to like be themselves and just act that way. That's really what I'm working on right now. Is like getting people comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said it in that sense because I feel like it's really easy to fall into the mold of an El Paso photographer when you start to take pictures of a lot of models. And you just start getting into the mold of like, how can I make you look as sexy as possible? You know what I mean?
I'm so glad you brought this up.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, I'm glad that you said cool looking people look like they're cool as fuck. Like that's a dope photo rather than like,
Yeah.
oh, she looks fucking hot. You know what I mean? So, as you are you trying to stay conscious of this as you're
Yeah.
diving deeper into the
Yeah.
portrait world?
For sure. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, not at all.
Early on, I saw that shooting women in like a sexy poses, that was something that would get a lot of love. I saw that early on, and I was just like, but early on, I was very cognizant of the fact that like, I see certain photos in my head that I'm capable of producing. That I'm not there yet, but this isn't even at that standard.
Yeah, dude. While all this is going on though, a lot of photographers are simultaneously getting like called out on shit at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
it's
remember.
crazy.
Yes.
Oh no, yeah, dude. I've seen a lot of photos, and I've seen some people that like put out raw photos, and I'll look at the raws and I'll download them, and I'm like, I can't imagine. Like, you're completely relying on the fact that there's just straight ass cheeks in this
Yes.
photo, dude.
There's no
like,
composition.
yes, dude. The photo's like ISO's all blown out, man. It's crazy, dude.
I told myself early on when I realized that, you know, if you're an Instagram photographer and you're posting stuff, that, you know, sex sells. No matter where you're at, what you're doing, who you are, no matter where you live, sex sells. And I told myself early on, I'm not gonna make it on the backs of naked women. I'm just not, like, because I knew, like, if you
could though, you're also competing with like 40 other people that are doing the same shit.
they're doing the
bro.
same thing. And if I let my mind get caught up in, like, oh, well, I'm doing so well and I'm getting so many likes for half naked women, that's like that just, to me, that feeds my ego in a way that, well,
in the wrong direction.
in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. People are loving it. So it's like, well, does that push me to be even better? You know what I'm saying?
Talk about having talk about how much your audience influences you just as much as you influence your audience,
bro. Like, I think just being cognizant of the fact that anything you produce and you put out, it's gonna influence you, even if you're aware of the fact that, oh, you know, I'm not gonna let the likes affect me. I say that all the time, like, you know, fuck the likes, whatever. But when I see like 200 likes, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, bang.
You know, yeah,
That was a
fuck
banger.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can't help it. You know what I'm saying? But I think having that balance of, like, having the balance of being aware, like, I'm gonna post this, but I'm posting it because I need to feed the algorithm for the business side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to post. I need people to see what I'm producing, because I could be the greatest photographer in the world, but if people don't see what I'm producing, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No one's gonna hire me. No one's gonna, like, talk about me, that sort of thing. But yeah, like, the whole half naked women scene, that was, yeah. I forget what year that was when people were just getting called out because they were just being mad.
Oh, dude, I think it was COVID, because it was all going on like at the same time as, I remember it so vividly, dude. It was like all going on during like the George Floyd protests as well, dude. Like, everything was going on all at the same time.
Damn.
Yeah, dude. Like, there was like protests going on at Memorial, and then later on you'd go hop on the gram and like 3 other photographers got called out that day. And it's just like, damn, bro.
Yeah, and you see it, man. Like, I mean, I guess it's a good way to find out who's really about it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you asked me when I got in, or am I cool with talking about, like, the photography community in El Paso. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think we have so many talented people here, but at the same time, like, there's two sides of that spectrum. There's people in it for the wrong reasons too. You know what I'm
Even
saying?
if they're talented.
Even
huh?
if they're talented,
Yeah,
like, that,
just
legit,
like-
bro. Well said. Like, you can be a great photographer and you can also be a dog at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Slime ball.
slime ball, man. Like, which is
Yeah.
crazy nowadays, because anyone who's doing that nowadays is brave as hell. Because you get people get put on blast all the time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, but just it was just to me, you just keep it cordial, do it for the right reasons. Like, if you're in it for the wrong reasons, best believe you're gonna be, at some point it's gonna come out.
Yeah, and it's gonna bite you in the ass.
It's
And you're gonna
gonna,
delete
like-
your Instagram and move to Denver or some shit. That sounded like a personal shot. That was a very specific
Hey,
thing.
if you know, you know.
I don't even know who I'm talking about. That's crazy. Man, well, I mean, besides storytelling, though, just in your approach to photography,
Okay.
aside from like curating, being more intentional, not only with the shoot, but also with the experience you're providing to the model, what else are you doing to kind of like stay above the weeds in this like super saturated El Paso scene?
Man, that's a good question.
Does it fall into your marketing? How much does your website play into it? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? I try not to let, you know, everyone else and what everyone else around me, the community, is doing, affect what I'm doing. And I say that because, I mean, you hear it all the time from people, big artists, musicians.
Would you like a refill?
Yeah, brother, please. Musicians, whatever it may be, like, you can't let other people influence the way that you create. You know what I'm saying? So right now,
It's hard not to, huh? Do you
It's
feel
hella
like it's
hard.
hard?
I feel like it's hard because I see people produce really nice stuff, and I'm like, damn, like, there's a little bit of envy. There's a little bit of, like,
Are you talking locally right now?
yeah, locally,
Okay.
bro. Like, I'm
It's
gonna,
also because El Paso's small.
yeah, I'll throw names out. I don't even care. Like, Chrissy G Creative, awesome photographer. I follow her stuff all the time. Like, she produces great stuff. Like, and every time I see, I'm like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just pushes me to want to do more, but at the same time, like, I don't like to get caught up in, like, trying to compare, like, what are other people doing. Like, I'm trying to be as organic as I can about the way that I produce, in terms of just, like, what am I doing and what does my journey call for next? Like, period. You know what I'm saying? Like,
where do you think you're at right now in that process of putting your blinders on? Do you think you're fully solved, or do you think you still find yourself doing that?
Yeah, man, so glad you asked that. Right now, I feel more focused than ever. As in, like, right now, I know I need to get to a bigger market. Like I said, I hit that standard, and I kind of have those conversations about being an artist. So I kind of have an idea of like where I want to go, like, individually, like as an artist. But now I know that I want to make more money doing what I'm doing because I know I'm doing it at a high standard. So I want to get to a bigger market. So right now, to me, the next point in my photography journey is moving. Like it's just getting to a bigger market. And I love El Paso and it's growing all the time. Like, don't get me wrong. Love it here. And like y'all are putting El Paso on. Like we've had these conversations before about like El Paso growing periodically, like all the time. But I feel like for me, right, I need to go try it in a bigger market because if I don't want to look back and be like, damn, why didn't I just give it a shot? You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those moments. But at least right now, that's definitely where I'm at. Like I know that I have this skill that people want. You know what I'm saying? I know that I can get paid to do this full time, but I have to put myself in the right places to do it. I have to like make the right chess moves right now that will put me in those positions in like 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm thinking more about like the business side of it. I put in the time creatively with a camera. I put in my time like cognitively, like sitting down with myself and being honest and like asking people like, you know, how can I be better or what's wrong with this photo? And I'm at the point of like, I still want to do that. I still need people to like give me feedback and critique me and like be around people who are better photographers. But I'm also at the point of just like, I'm at my limit with El Paso and I want to just do more. Like I'm just getting stir crazy here. You know what I'm saying? Like I see people charging crazy amounts in other cities.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm producing the same, if not better. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But and I'm just like, man, I know I can do that. I just have to be around people who will pay me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, period.
What is it that you're seeing? Like, are you going into like wedding websites and seeing other people charging like fucking 10, 11 grand for them shits?
I'll do that a lot for sure, but a lot of the time, like when I get
like, I guess what I'm asking is, where do you see their price? Like, how do you even study the markets of other?
yeah,
stuff?
so what I do is like when I get booked for gigs in other cities and people like fly me out,
Yeah.
since I don't know certain areas, I'll like look up other photographers in that area and kind of get an idea of where they shoot.
Okay.
So I can get an idea of like locations for the client to give them like options. And then going to their website, obviously like my curiosity, I'm gonna go to their pricing. I'll go to their pricing, I'll just like break down like and I'll just see like how they charge like by the hour, like by, you know, how many the volume of photos they provide. And then just doing that, like I was just like, oh my goodness, like
Yeah.
seeing like people in Denver and then seeing people in Austin and seeing what they're charging, I'm just like, oh
Dude.
my goodness.
I want to be a real estate photographer in Dallas, bro.
Is it good out there?
It's not so much like, I'm sure you can charge more, but it's also just you're guaranteed to have higher valued homes as well,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
that's what the dependency is a lot.
Right.
Is like, well, what's the square footage of the home? How many
Mhm.
fucking rooms am I shooting? What's your commission check looking like if you
Yeah.
sell this bitch? You know what I mean?
For sure.
But what are some of your favorite things in terms of pricing models? Like, I refuse, and I almost will never do no hourly. Like, I'll never do by the hour, because then that just sets up too much expectation on both people. Now everyone's micromanaging your time,
Right.
and you get punished for doing stuff fast because that's less hours. So, like, what are some of the pricing things that you've learned or that you've observed that you like the most?
Oh man,
You don't got to spill the beans on your pricing models unless you want to, but like, just
no,
principles.
like yeah. Let me just try and be as honest as I can about it. Like, I try and be as reasonable as I can in relation to like the demographic I'm around.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Like
Of course.
to me, like what I'm charging people in El Paso right now, I think is reasonable for the product that I'm producing. Like I've seen other photographers, they're charging a little bit more than me, and they deserve to. Like don't get me wrong, like they're rightfully so. You know, nothing taken away from those people. But I think like me for sure, like I'm just trying to be like, I know that there's a certain level I'm still trying to get to, so I always keep that in mind when pricing. I can charge you a little bit more, but it's like I'm gonna scale back just a little bit because these are my people. El Paso's like my people. I'm not gonna sit here and like do somebody wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like when the people around me in the city are what got me to this point. Like I'm always gonna make sure I try and take care of people, especially if someone needs like 5 photos. It's like if I don't offer any type of like package for that, I'm gonna be like, oh well, let me just work with you on the price. Like, I'm not gonna be like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna charge you
I
this.
only have these 3 options. I'm a robot.
Right, but I think it's really
I'm a
cool.
corporation.
Yeah, right.
Jordan ZAMUDIO Inc.
But I think it's really cool because it's like from the business side of things, it's like I get to, because I'm my own boss, I get to dictate how I charge people, and I love that because when I'm working in like other jobs and people are like working for corporations and you know they're just doing people wrong. They're like double charging, triple charging people for certain products, and you're just like
Hidden fees.
just all types of shit. I'm just like, nah, like I want people to understand if you come to me for my work, I'm gonna give you an experience that you enjoy, even with the pricing. Like, if you have an issue with the pricing, I'm super open to like negotiating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not very like firm on like this is what it is, this is what it has to be. I'm always telling people if you just need me for a certain amount of time, let me know and I can prorate certain things for you. Like, I'm all about taking care of the customer. Why? Because they're paying me. You know what I'm saying? It's like obviously if they're gonna give me something that seems unreasonable, like a price, I'm gonna be like, dog, don't lowball me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
still gotta eat.
yeah, come on now. Like, but for the most part, people have been pretty like understanding about that. Like, super understanding. I'm mad grateful for that. Like, I haven't had like really any problems with people about pricing or being mad about the product and like saying, oh, you're overcharged. Never had any problems like that. You know what I'm saying? So my biggest thing is like charging for the experience I'm giving, and I'm more focused on the experience I'm giving than the money. I want to make sure that you have just a nice experience when taking your photo. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know, like, you know, I'm a professional, but I'm also like a human being. Like, we're gonna have fun doing what we're doing. This isn't like you showing up to JCPenney and you're taking your photos. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing like that. No.
Stick your chin up, and you're like, this is kind of feeling weird. It's starting to feel like wonky now. I get you, man. I feel like with websites, it's a little bit of a challenge just because I still don't know if I can just approach someone in a discussion about like, oh, so it's gonna be this price, and that's the price. You get a website.
Right.
Because most people are so used to seeing an itemized like receipt of things that they're gonna get.
The invoice.
But the
yeah.
thing is that like when you do that, and this is something that I've learned, and I actually have a straight up resource on learning how to price my creative work. There's this platform called The Future.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of them?
No.
But you take out the E, so it's just FUTUR. And they're like an academy, but they really just help entrepreneurs, creative entrepreneurs, really learn how to structure their business. They give you workshops and they give you like what are they called? Not real calls, simulation calls,
Okay.
like, you know, as if like you're actually talking to like a client or something like that. And they just teach you how to price your work better and be more confident with pricing your work. And they've taught like about like forget the hourly method, because think about it, if you're really good at what you do, you're gonna get punished that way. But if you're also an asshole and you start taking up all these hours and stuff, now the client's getting fucking punished because you're just taking your time.
Right.
Rather than, why don't you just value what this project's worth and just price it like that? That way everyone knows, you know, they're just aligned with the project's value, not so much time.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
And so, like that's all I do now with projects. But I feel like when I give you an invoice, it's not like all these lists of things. It's just as simple as website design and development, this price. And it's because like I told you the deliverables, you're gonna get all that, and that's the experience. Like, this is how much it's gonna be worth to solve this problem for you.
Right.
You know, it's not like I'm offering you all these things. More so, you have this problem. This is what it's gonna take to solve it.
How do you like because obviously you're making your own prices for like whatever it is that you're creating. How do you go about like your own standard for like, you know, I think this is worth this much because of the value I'm bringing? Like, how do you look at it?
I'm still eyeballing a little bit, but one of the things that I've learned that I would like to understand better is I think it's a little bit of a template, but it's a safe template. And I think you just like understand your client a little bit better. And usually I'm working with businesses. I don't think I've ever created a website for somebody that's not trying to use that to generate them more money. So the goal being, what do you want this website to do for you revenue wise in a year? And then that's where you decide to build. Okay, you want this website to make you $100,000 in a year? Do you think it'd be worth investing 10% of that into a project that's going to solve that?
Right.
The website's going to cost $10,000.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still in the space right now where I feel like I'm falling to the struggles of being an El Paso creative, where I feel like people are trying to, it's easy for an El Paso company to be like, oh, that price is too high, and the creative is gonna fold because they want the job so bad that they got to say yes to it.
Right.
But I just offered a site for $4,000, and I think it could even be more expensive too. But even then, like, they're saying it's too much, and I'm like, I can't go down though. I know what their domain is, and their domain is literally what someone would Google if they just needed to find it. So I'm like, you guys have a fucking like gold mine, dude.
Yeah.
This is a very valuable website. If you guys feel like it hasn't already generated you the traffic you want, and you want somebody else to solve that problem for you, like, if you knew what I'm not going to say the name right here, but like, if you knew what the .com name was, you'd be like, this should already be making its own money. Like, this should be solving itself. So the fact that it's so valuable on its own, but yet you still need someone to solve the problem, well, I'm going to have to charge for it, even if you guys want something simple. Like, I get it, it's simple, but it's still going to bring you a lot of money.
Right.
It doesn't have to be flashy design for it to be valuable in price. You know what I mean? And so I know that we were just talking earlier about like keeping a certain standard, but also, not trying to like gouge people and stuff. But at the end of the day, I was also thinking to myself, you know what? I'm not this confident about making this website if I don't make the other 12 that I've made before, the other 20, almost 20 that I've made at this point now. Because like when I made the quote, it was 12, but I've literally went through an influx of sites. So now I'm like, I can say a little bit more now. And 20 sites is like the equivalent of doing almost like 300 photo shoots.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like, they scale differently, bro. Not to downplay a photo shoot. There's some that are more in volume. And I'm not downplaying because I'm still in the photo space. That's why I say it so confidently that a photo shoot equates to like I would say about 10 to 20 shoots equates to about the capacity it takes to make a website. I
agree, bro.
I'm copywriting in the shit sometimes. I'm more often than not. You know what I mean? So I'm having to understand a business language, and I'm not Chat GPT, bro.
Right.
Like, you can tell when somebody used Chat GPT for their copywriting.
It sounds so clean. You can cut it out
yes,
now.
Dude, yes. So, like, that costs a lot of money, dude.
Right.
You're asking me to all of a sudden now be a writer. So, if I were to itemize that, man, you would just nitpick shit that you were going to try to save money on. And now now you're not even getting me in my best thing. So, why would you even hire me at that point?
Exactly. Like, you can literally do this by yourself all through ChatGPT.
You just go get Squarespace, bro.
Literally. I think that's super important, especially for young creatives.
Side question real quick.
Go ahead.
All this talk about pricing and like being so cautious about your receipts or every person that's gonna buy or inquiring you about your work.
Yeah.
It feels like you're almost walking on ice in El Paso a little bit. So do you think El Paso right now is like, do you think you gotta fucking almost like undersell yourself just because you know that like there's gonna be a motherfucker that they know that can do it for cheaper?
No, I think El Paso is growing so much that you just have to literally advertise yourself correctly. And I say that because I follow people who charge more than me and they have business all the time. I'm just like,
true.
That's proof in the pudding. If you produce work and you're advertising correctly, and you know what I'm saying, you're consistent with the way that you advertise yourself, you're gonna get gigs. You just have to put yourself in the right position with the right people. Like, obviously, like, you're not gonna market yourself as like a top photographer with these prices to people who can't afford it. It's just like knowing the market, and especially like breaking down the market. Like, El Paso is a market, but when you live in here, like there are certain areas that you can't expect someone to charge. You can't expect someone to pay a certain amount.
Yeah.
If they're from this area versus that area.
Yeah, they're gonna pass on you.
For sure, bro. But
Just gonna go to their cousin.
Literally. So I think it's okay. Don't get me wrong. People are definitely like in the game, and I know one of the big problems is like people talk about like oversaturation.
Yes.
Charge what you need to charge, so the market doesn't become oversaturated, and everyone's. It's like I get that, but it's like, to me, if you're doing what you're doing and you're honest about it and you're producing the work that you're saying, like, there's no ego involved. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, this is my stand. This is what I produce. And the right people will come your way, especially if you're putting the time to network and, like I said, advertise consistently. Like, if you're not booking the gigs you want to book, from my experience, is because you're not putting in the time to get yourself out there. The more I advertise and the more I push my content, the more gigs I get. Like, that was very apparent from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at this point, it's like, if I'm not booking gigs, it's because I'm aware of the fact that I'm just not posting shit. And I'm at that point literally right now. Like I said, I've been working at this dispensary right now, but working crazy hours. So I haven't been posting like that, haven't been shooting like that. And in turn, have not been, booking gigs. And that's just, to me, like, that's the karma of not um not putting enough time and energy into my photography and creative space. So I'm not mad about it, you know what I'm saying? Because this new dispensary gig was just like something new for me. So it's like I had to learn all these new things, and I had to, I mentally prepared to the fact that,
You're more willing to be wrong.
yeah, like I knew that I was gonna risk a little bit of my time in the creative space to, like, I have to learn how to do all this stuff, and I have to, adapt to this new job that I'm at. So it's like I'm at the point right now where it's like, yeah, I'm struggling a little bit on the creative side, photography wise, but it's like it's okay because I knew I was gonna take that little hit. You know what I'm saying? But here we are, and like I told you, like right before, it's like now that job's taking up too much space, I'm like, nah, because I want to focus on the photography more, and like that is to me what I'm trying to do in life. And if that anything interferes with that, it's like I have to like push that aside. Like I'm just at that point of knowing that this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Like there's no doubt involved. Like I see it so clearly at this point. Like I know I'm gonna be successful in this. I just have to continue to like push through all the little bullshit that comes with the journey. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you guys have been tested multiple times in terms of just like the creative process and like producing things. Like unforeseen variables all the time come up, but it's just like if you're really about it, you're willing to figure it out. And if you're not, well then, you're not. You know what I'm saying? Period. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like certain people are meant for certain things, in my opinion. And it's like if you're not meant for it, no, that's cool. You're at some point. I hope you find what it is that you're meant to do, passionately and wholeheartedly, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just grateful that I'm at that point where I know photography is what I'm gonna do. Like period.
Man, yeah, dude. Pricing like is one of the hardest things I think that comes into play when we're talking about putting the blinders on a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that that was well put, bro.
Well said.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, there's parts where I struggle with that stuff. I'm really good at some blinders, but not every blinder, man. I definitely look to my left and right to see what other people are doing, just to kind of like gauge my work a lot.
Yeah.
Like, gauge where I'm at, like quality wise. I think pricing wise I'm good because honestly I don't even pay any attention to any other website designers here. It's crazy. Like the thing that is driving my income or like is a big potential of income is the one thing I'm like not competitive about. But the thing that I'm just doing for the love of the game is the thing that I'm like I'm hungry, bro. I'm ready to take people out, dude.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense, but I think like I said earlier with Jordan and Kobe and all these other people who have these like very vicious mentalities of being great, I just feel like that's me just trying to be great at what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And when I see people face to face, I'm not trying to sound like I'm openly fake, but I think I take out all those things that I'm trying to like use as fuel, and I'm like, wait, we're all chill.
We're all doing the same
like,
thing,
yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
But do you think that's wrong?
In what aspect? What do you mean?
Just being in your own time and being like very competitive about what you do.
Not at all, brother. Not at all. Because one of the things that I love about
I've seen some of your photos and been like, nah, let me get at this. Nah, I'm just fucking around.
one of the things I love about like growing up as an athlete first is
dude, let's get into it.
that natural competitiveness, man, and it's like learning how to find a balance with that. 'Cause
Yeah.
it can get toxic. Where
I wanted to beat you in a cross country race so bad, dude, but you were good in middle school.
Yeah,
dude.
and it's like as an athlete, you want to beat the next guy.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And it's like in the creative space, it's more about like using that competitiveness to fuel your own motivation to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like trying to like block out that envy and jealousy of like, damn, he's doing better shit than I am. It's just like, yeah. So what are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can be sour about it. It's like, or you can continue to just work your ass off and refine your craft to get to that point. You know
I've been more comfortable in my openly hating because of the fact that I've been getting after my shit a little bit more now, you know? I think you're only allowed to do it as if you're fucking about that shit.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Because it's like if someone comes back and
You
throws
better
like,
be him when they come at you.
Literally, it's like if you're gonna say some shit, stand on it. Because if someone comes at you, you better be damn prepared to be like, I'm saying this because I know me and I'm producing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm not no chump. You know what I'm saying? That's what one of my questions for you is like, what other parallels have you seen like from your athletic like basketball career that have translated to your creative space?
That, like, I mean, other ones, though, is what you're asking about, is...
Other than the competitiveness, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the physicality. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I feel like when you're really trying to be great at a certain sport, you're so very focused on like how peak you could be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not just physically, but mentally also. So you start taking practices.
Yes.
Maybe you change up your lifting regime because you're trying to be good at basketball. So you're not just straight up like doing curls all day, and now you're doing more like specific like weights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you really channel it in. So I feel like for me, I think one of those things that stemmed from trying to be the best athlete I could be was like just doing physical things to be the best professional I could be. So like I'm not over here trying to like squat 330 pounds every day. Sometimes me and my boy Stevan every morning will just squat like just a plate, bro. But we'll just try to get like good hip range and shit like that now. So like just being very aware of functional fitness, I think is something that athletes take into consideration a lot. That I think I'm trying to take into consideration a lot during my days now. Because at the dispo, I'm not over here lifting big weight or anything, but I am QCing a lot of joints. I'm rolling, so I'm like looking down a lot, rolling a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. And every now and then I just like stretch out a bit, but like I feel good all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That work ethic, bro, for sure. And that's why I ask you, because it's like,
I guess that's the thing, work ethic, competitiveness, and work ethic.
Absolutely, bro. Like
if you're gonna get smoked by your athletic competition if you're just fucking around, unless you're Jokic. You know what I mean? Then you could, or Doncic, or Doncic. Unless you're like Serbian shit type of shit where you could just fucking smoke hookah all summer and come back and fuck everyone up.
All overweight,
sure, bro.
But in order to be one of the greatest like athletes, you gotta like have a crazy work ethic. So now I wake up at 4 a.m., dude. I'm mad at people at work sometimes and at a smoke. It's all supposed to be stoner vibes, but here I am over here like, nah, dude. And I'm not trying to take the fun out of it, but I'm saying we could be a little less aloof. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
But work ethic and competitiveness.
For sure, bro. And I think it like shows, man. When I helped you out with that midnight sessions with Crystal Poppin', bro. Like when I first, it was so many moving parts, and I just remember you and David just walking around the whole time, checking everything. I'm like, bro, like, and then I see you do your workouts. I see you do all this extra shit. I'm just like, bro. It trips me out to see you do all this other shit, Evan. I'm telling you, bro. Like
sometimes I think I'm lazy because I take a lot of naps. I still fit naps.
It's probably
because
you don't sleep.
Bro. No, I still fit naps into the day. I feel like I'm a weird Da Vinci-esque sort of person because if you ever heard, Da Vinci took 4 30-minute naps a day, so he really only slept 2 hours a day.
Whoa.
I don't sleep 2 hours a day, but like I knock out at around. I mean, sometimes it's 8 p.m. and that's why I'll wake up like at 2 a.m. and it sucks, bro. I've given up on trying to be productive at noon. That's not my time. When I wake up at 2 a.m., I'll wake up, hit a bowl, and I'll hit more work than I've ever done in like a 6-hour span during the day, bro. I'm a night owl. I'll be in the pure dark, bro. Fucking TV monitor light just blasting in my eyes. Fucking up my eyesight for the cost of good art, bro.
Yeah, see, bro, I'm like...
That's the price of good art, bro. Your eyesight.
Hell, I'm mad respect to you, bro. Because I think about doing that shit all the time, but I'm just like...
I don't even have blue light on these shits, dude. Straight up, bro. Straight up.
I think about doing shit like that all the time, but it's just like, I'm not built like that. Like, I'm literally one of those guys who's like, I have to, like, mitigate and plan my time throughout my day because it's like I'm big on like
it's crazy because you were just saying you're battling routine because of the mundaneness of it,
but there's little things about it like sleep. That's one thing I do not compromise.
Okay.
I try and get to bed when I need to get to bed and get
naps.
I take naps when I need to, for sure. Like, don't get me wrong, if I get my 8 hours, I can do my whole day.
Okay.
It's like if I know I'd get like 5 to 6 hours, I literally plan throughout my day. I have to take a nap. Damn. I get mad irritable.
I'm glad to hear that. I've been hearing some people who don't take naps. We've been hearing people who don't. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, like, don't get wrong.
Take
like,
a motherfucking nap, bro. Shit.
You wonder why people are so goddamn ornery all the time. It's like, dog, take a motherfucking nap.
Yeah,
one of my desk drawers is a pillow.
Oh, shit.
Because I'm the same way. But that's just because, like, cognitively, I can 100% feel my decline.
Mm-hmm, right.
I need, like, that 7 to 8 hours, because if not, like, I can't think as fast.
Mm-hmm.
I can't react as fast, and like I don't feel like the best.
Are you like visibly different when you don't get enough sleep? Are you like a cranky ass? Or can you channel it at work to where you're like, hey, what's up?
No, I'm really quiet. I'm not cranky, but I'm just like super introverted, and I'm just like I can feel like the work that I can do like on a full night's rest is like
Oh yeah, I
it
get you.
doubles.
It's because I feel like when you sleep more, you wake up a little bit earlier, and you just have more time to plan what's ahead. But then when you don't sleep enough, you're usually in a rush. And now you're over here rushing everything. You don't have time to
Yeah.
plan the day ahead, so you don't even have time to prepare for the bullshit your coworkers are gonna throw at you.
Right.
You know, so like, yeah,
I
dude,
think lifestyle
that's
is
crazy. Like,
super important, man. Like I think
I've heard. Sorry, not to interrupt.
No,
Like,
you're
I've
good.
heard sleep being so important, but I've never heard that like this specific reason get laid out in that sense.
I think Dave said it so well, and it's like mad respect to you, Dave, because it's like you're very aware of like your body and like the energy you're kind of walking around with. Like some people don't even know they're being an asshole sometimes until you like, kind of like, hey, bro, are you okay? It's like what's going on? Like I always say, nobody wants to wake up and be an asshole or be, just be an asshole. I don't want to say another word, 'cause but it's like. So when someone's being an asshole, I have to ask, like, bro, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And I know when I don't get my sleep, like, I'm hella irritable. That's just like, I don't like to be around people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I do a disservice to the people around me when I don't take care of myself and put myself in a good mind space, because then I'm likely to be an asshole. Like, I've been in
Damn.
that position before.
Thank you for saying that.
That's well said
That's-
again.
That's a good. That's a good way to say that,
These
bro.
bangers.
That was good, man. That's a very unselfish way to think about taking care of yourself.
Yeah, bro.
What is like taking care of yourself is such a selfish thing, like innately,
Oh,
in
man.
essence, not in a bad way,
No,
but
you're
saying
right.
it in that makes it like unselfish.
You know,
That's cool.
I
But that's
feel-
also, I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with the sense of like, if I don't love myself, how can I love anyone else?
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
you've heard
bro.
that phrase
For
before.
sure. And I think that I first came onto that thought when I was like 22, 23, and I was just going through like a really rough time in my life. And I was like noticing like there's something about me that was just different. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't myself pretty much. I was just like very snappy, very like, just like, I don't know, just upset like a lot of times. And
Yeah, you had no patience for no one.
not at all, bro. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Snapping on friends type stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're just kind of looking at me like, what the hell's going on? And I remember thinking like, damn, like, because I'm not taking care of myself and I'm putting myself in this position, the karma for that is what everyone around me is noticing, and it's affecting them. And I just like, I felt bad about that, because it's like, well, no one's gonna fucking want to hang out with me if I'm a fucking dick, if I'm an asshole. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? So after that, I was like, I want to take care of myself for me, for sure.
That's
Like,
crazy, huh? That's one of the things that people won't put up with as an asshole. They'll put up with like a drunk so long as he's a good time and
yeah.
shit, but they won't put up
That's a
with an
good point.
asshole. No matter how good the intention is or where their head's at, like if you're an
Mhm.
asshole, people just can't stand an asshole.
Yeah, it's just like, why? Especially if you're around people who just like are
I'm
naturally.
not trying to
good.
defend assholes or anything like
No,
that.
you're good. I think it's especially if you're around people who are just like naturally like a good time.
Yeah.
Like just naturally happy people, and
Yeah.
they're just like immediately they're just like, bro, like,
Yeah, you're fucking up the vibe.
yeah, like
You're scaring the hoes.
for sure.
Well, what do you think it was? What do you think it was that like needed to switch in that time?
This is before I picked up a camera.
Okay, so
this-
what was really falling off though? Did you not have like something that was like inspiring you? And
Yeah, bro. Honestly, I remember exactly what it was, man. This is when I first got into education. I was a PE coach, like a legit PE coach, and I didn't even realize it until I got into the first day. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was like, oh, I'm one of the coaches for these elementary school kids. I did that for a year, and I like the whole year was just like a learning process, right? Learning how to talk to them, learning like my job duties and stuff. And the second year was more like I'm comfortable, and so now my mind was working differently. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on? And I couldn't help but like this is like my first salary job, and I noticed I'm looking around at like my peers and my coworkers, and I'm like, this is it? Like you guys are in your career, and you guys do this every day, and we talk about the same shit almost every day, and this is it? Like this is just life? I was like, I don't know. During that time, I was just like, I guess it just wasn't cool with me. Like naturally, I was just like, what the like it was just weird. I was just like, what the fuck? Like this is life. You get your job, you get your career. Not that teaching or anything, there's nothing wrong with like that, but it wasn't me. Like I wasn't like the person to just like, I get into a career, I have my Monday through Friday, that's my life. I have my salary, cool. It was so simple to me. I was just like, no, I can hell no. It was so mundane. I was just like, no.
there's the mundane.
Yeah, it was
There
just
it
like
is.
the everyday. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the teaching. I enjoy doing education. It's cool. Like being around the kids, awesome job, super rewarding. But I was just like, this ain't for me right now. Like there's certain things I know I need to do, and I can't do them by just having these regular surface level conversations every day. It it was driving me nuts, man. And during that time is like when I got into psychedelics, and after I got into psychedelics, literally changed my perspective. And after the psychedelics is literally when I picked up a camera, because I was like, I just wanted to shoot. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, so thank God.
Are you taking psychedelics and you're on a hike and you're like, this is a good cactus? Is that what it is?
Literally,
Is that how
bro.
you
That's
shoot
all.
cactus?
That's literally what it was, Evan. I'm not even bullshitting you, bro. Like
That's good,
the first time I realized like I really wanted to do it, me and my friends, we were on an acid trip.
That's
and
good.
We took it through the night. Like we stayed up all night. We took it, and we're coming down, and we're like, what's the best way to like end the trip? And they're like, well, let's hike up McKelligan. We hiked up McKelligan at 5 a.m. before the
Oh
sun
yeah,
rose.
now at this point you're in the introspective part of the trip.
Yeah, bro.
It's not so intense no more.
Yes.
You have your thoughts
Yes.
slightly collected.
And I'm just instead
Let's
of
go on a
thinking,
hike.
literally, instead of thinking like of things how I usually do in that linear perspective, it's like I was looking at them from like a completely different angle. And going on that hike, I'm just looking at all the cacti, and I'm just like, why do y'all look so cool? I'm telling you, I was like, yeah. And I just started taking pictures on my iPhone, and literally that's how it started, just taking pictures on the iPhone of cacti. And here we are now. And I tell people all the time, if you go down my Instagram, I have the same one. Go down all the way, you will literally see the progression. And I start at cacti. You can it's just cactus at first, and it's just you see like landscape, and at some point I get like super like psychedelic, and I do like mirror images of people in different colors and buildings and stuff. You know, just trying to figure out what it is that I was good at.
That's cool that you can see the journey on your page still.
For sure. That's
Some
why
people archive and then archive.
Yeah, and I have people like clients tell me, "Man, we've seen your page, and it just looks like you like a personal page. It doesn't look like a business page."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I don't want it to look like a business page because, yes, like I'm a service that you pay me for, but I'm a human being, and I want you to understand that like when you come to me, you're paying me, and like it's an exchange of money, but it's like, you know." I'm also trying to provide a dope experience for you because you have something cool that you want, and I really enjoy doing this. So it's like I want to curate something really cool that you won't forget. You know what I'm saying?
There's something cool about that. I feel like if, like, let's say you're posting nothing but wedding photos,
Right.
the moment somebody gets their wedding photos delivered, it's like what they see. It's more likely it's gonna feel like what they've already seen on your page all the time too. You know, so it doesn't feel unique. So you don't really like when you go ahead and mix up and you show all of your other artistic shoots, the creative ones that don't necessarily have a standard to kind of like
Right.
fit in a mold. Because wedding shoots, you gotta get your cake shot. You know,
Yeah,
you gotta get some of the table decor,
template to it.
the kiss. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You gotta get those shots. But when you're in a creative shoot, it could be whatever the fuck you guys concepted. So when you're mixing that in, and the photographer gets or the buyer gets their gallery, it's almost like a breath of fresh air because they might have for the last 3 months been seeing nothing but like creative shoots.
Yeah.
And so like, oh shit, like this is this guy in his creative eye right now, rather than this guy just shot his like 7th fucking wedding in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, bro, and I
Like, it
try
was-
and like literally put an emphasis on that in particular.
My page is starting to look a little too fucking podcasty. It's nothing but clips, dude. It's nothing. I need to put more
Ain't nothing wrong with
selfies,
that.
bro. I
Ain't
need to
nothing
put
wrong
more
with that,
selfies.
man.
But to add to that, we were just talking. I was talking to David as like volume 2 was starting. I was like, let's uncollaborate with all the season 1 clips.
Mhm.
And the idea behind it was we have like all these pages, MFHQ, MF Pearl. But if you can find all these posts on our page as well, there's no incentive to go follow those pages.
Oh, I get you.
Like,
Yeah.
go follow our business pages.
Right.
We're like, this is Evan Romo's page right here.
Mhm.
I'll collaborate with a bit just because like I'm in it, but it'll go away after a while. If you really want the whole podcast as a whole, gotta go to MFHQ.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that kind of how you see it a little bit? Maybe not because you have other pages, but like what I said earlier regarding somebody coming up to you and when they receive their gallery, it doesn't feel like they're already used to it.
Right, like it
you
doesn't
agree
feel
with
like
all that?
they're receiving this gallery that's a template.
Is that why you really try to direct the personal Instagram? Or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, not is that why, but does that take part?
For sure, bro. Like I want people to understand that if you come to me, it's more about an artist experience, as in like an artisan experience. I'm doing it. It's gonna be unique every time because it's like I'm going into it every time with a different mentality, like based off of like where you want to do where your venue is and what church you're in. It's like, to me, it's more about like a documentary type of style.
Not weddings per se, but I get where you're going.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's just like, I want to be unique in that sense. Like, I want to curate the shoots, but every time I show up, I want to just like be in that flow state, and I want to just be like, all right, what makes sense right now? You know what I'm saying? What looks good right now? And a lot of the time, like, sometimes it's hard to get into that flow state. But when you do, and I'm sure you've had experience with this, it's just like when you allow yourself to get into it and just start going, it's just like a snowball effect. Everything just starts making sense, and you just start boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
sometimes
boom.
you'll even, after you take the shots, you're like, oh, you say
Yeah,
some
really,
shit and the fucking model probably gets weirded out like, shit better be fire.
I love
You
those.
hyping that shit.
I love those moments.
hyping that
Where you're
shit
just
up.
like, oh, you're in it. You're like, oh shit, like, and they're just like, what? And I'm just
That's
like,
gonna be the
I'll
one.
show you later.
That's gonna be the one.
For sure, bro. For sure. A question for you guys though, for like you and Dave, is like, as much as y'all do here in EP, like, what is the utmost goal? I feel like you guys are so talented, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you guys plan to go with all this?
Global brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when we say, because like beginning when MF first started, it was just a project that I started out of college because I had a marketing degree, so I wanted to do social media. We do the first midnight sessions and we immediately pivot, but only in the sense that we also want to do music. Everything else was still kind of like all under the same name. And after about a years, when we started to shape it out to where MF was only the music part of it. And so for like a few years, it's like a music platform.
Right.
But then we end up saying we launched a pod and we start interviewing people that aren't musicians, and now it's become music and entrepreneurship. And so the mission statements changed to where we're connecting La Frontera to the world. So even though MF is gonna go ahead and primarily have most of its productions be in El Paso, the goal is to go ahead and just connect with the world, like bring in musicians, bring in entrepreneurs, get to meet them. But also once that happens, the monetary resources grow, and now we can travel to tell stories that maybe the Frontera can benefit from, to where the mission doesn't change,
Right.
but the angle, the approach has adjusted. So we're still connecting La Frontera to the world, but now we're bringing the world to the Frontera,
Right.
rather than bringing La Frontera to the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel you.
So, like, the earliest hints of that are us bringing Vanessa Zamora here, are us flying the Lasso and A. Billy's musicians for her like Midwest music, the stuff that she creates with the Lasso and stuff.
Yeah.
That music's also created with other musicians around the country as well. Deep Greasy, Grayson, Sasquatch. You know, some people that we didn't get to meet yet, but hopefully we do later on. But those are some of the earliest examples of us bringing people to El Paso. But eventually, we want to bring big entrepreneurs to El Paso, bigger musicians to El Paso.
Right.
But we also, as a production team, want to go out of El Paso to tell stories that El Pasoans can appreciate, but also the world in general can appreciate.
I think it's really dope to
A festival too. We would like to have a festival here.
and like a straight music festival.
Yeah. And so just to quickly tie it back to what we were talking about earlier, is like monetary motivation has to exist, but our milestones aren't dollars.
Right.
They're events. There's certain productions that we want to do. And I think that allows the passion to sustain. It doesn't die out. It doesn't fizzle out.
Well said.
Because if the milestones are dollars, then the passion is immediately you're gonna start thinking about algorithms now,
Right.
hashtags, SEO. You're thinking about that now, which is important, yes. But honestly, bro, as long as you're creating the content and as long as you're passionate about it, I truly believe it sells itself. And that's why, like, sorry. Like, that's why we haven't done country yet. That's why we haven't done like metal yet, because we're just sticking to what we're passionate about, and that's why the quality stays the same.
Word. I hear that.
I was going to add to that. There's this cool saying about fanaticism. Someone who's fanatic is someone who triples down on their efforts but forgot their goal.
Yeah, you lose sight of it.
Yeah. It's like that old saying, "You came a long way, but you went the wrong way." Type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you went 20. You ran a marathon, but you ran into the shits. Like,
legit.
that's a good way to say it. I never heard what you just said, and I never heard either of those, but I completely understand it because of the principle of it.
And I think
Like trusting your gut. Remember when Vanya asked us, "Would you rather?" Let me ask you this.
Oh yeah.
Would you rather be 27 club? Do you know what that means?
Mm-mm.
You know how like a lot of famous musicians hit their peaks and stuff, but then they tragically pass away at 27?
Oh my god.
Amy Winehouse, Mac Miller,
Holy shit.
Kurt Cobain.
I know this.
Would you rather be? We're past 27 now, but
Right.
would you rather be 27 club and have lived everything, reached the whole greatest goal, or hit 80, not reaching it, but constantly living a life full of striving for it?
Oh, that's a great question. I would pick the 80 for sure.
What's cool is David and I had different answers ultimately. So
Yeah.
you'd pick the 80?
I pick 80. I pick 80 for sure, and I say that because it's like, along the creative journey, there's so many cool things that I've experienced.
But nobody's saying at 80 you reached a lot of cool things. You could have tried a lot and just had nothing but
Yeah, no.
mid shit.
I'm not even thinking about like notoriety at 80.
Okay.
I'm not even trying to be like in the zeitgeist at 80.
Okay.
Just like I said, like along the creative journey, taking my camera to different places and like getting into shoots, I've had so many dope experiences because I picked up the camera.
Fair enough. Fair
That's why
enough.
I'm just like, yo, hell yeah. Like,
Fair enough.
I'd rather live like a long, dope life. And when I'm 81, I get to be like, let me watch my movie and just sit back and think about all the cool shit that I did. You know what I'm saying? Even if I didn't make it huge, to me, if I'm 81 and I got a family and my bills are paid and I got a dope woman by my side, I'm a rich man. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Period.
David agrees with that, I think.
Yeah, I picked the 80.
You picked 27 Club?
Only in the sense that, like,
I
what?
gotta know.
Hold on, dude. Hold on. Because it's a deeper answer than that. Like, I was just thinking, like, what happens if you go all the way through 80 and you only, like, you tried so hard, but you only reached, like, level 1 out of 20.
Okay.
Like, there's 19 other levels that you could have seen, but you didn't really get to experience the full thing of your passion.
Word.
And so where I was coming from was you get to fully live out your passion.
Oh, yeah.
Your passion, you know what I mean? Like,
you hit that.
like, dude, as a creative producer, as somebody who just creates AV projects, like I want to see what the pinnacle is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that.
So
a good
that's where I
point.
was coming from. Not in the sense that like I want it all now, you know what I
Word.
mean? But in the sense of like I want the pinnacle.
Yeah.
You know?
Damn, bro. That says
That's
a lot
where
about
that's
you,
where it
bro.
makes the question a little bit more tough.
For sure. 'Cause
You know what I
get
mean?
you, it's just like,
Because both answers, like the 80 one is you could have a surface level version.
For sure.
But I think the ones that you guys have used, that makes it harder. Like, I was like, oh, you're making the 27 club
I
hard.
think it becomes a choice between, do you pick fulfillment or witness perfection?
ooh, hey, well said, dude.
You don't have to look
Well
at it from that
said.
angle, though. Like, you could just progress through every level and be like, I'm not perfect. Like, this shit was janky, or this shit could have improved here. So that's like, that's a variable.
Yeah.
Like, it could happen or it might
But
not.
would
that
say
gives you
that's-
but I
fulfillment, right?
I mean, somebody might find fulfillment in like reaching the next level every time.
For sure.
And like there's completionists, but then there's also just people who want to like see everything.
Yeah.
The completionist wants 100% it before they go on to the next level. That's the perfectionist. I don't think you have to be a perfectionist in order to hit the pinnacles.
Just lightning in the bottle.
Yeah, there's that.
That's why it's like you witness perfection, right? Like you recognize that this was lightning in the bottle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy topic that can go either way.
For sure. I think it's a matter of perspective.
I mean, there's cheap ways to say 27 Club, and I'm not going the cheap way, guys. I promise. Like,
No, I think the way you said it was, like, I agree with you. It's like, I do, because you're right. As an artist, as a creative, I want to hit that point too. And it's just like, it's not a matter of like
as a photographer, like I feel like what's considered the pinnacle of a photographer? Almost like,
ooh,
I think honestly, I don't know. Say it.
that's a good question.
You feel like you had I feel like you had an answer right there.
Yeah, I would say I guess from my perspective, the pinnacle of a photographer is like people.
Olympics.
People want
Shooting
people
the
just want you to
a
take
Nat
their
Geo
photo.
photographer.
That was for me. Is that Nat Geo?
Or Olympics, one of those two. That's the
Nah,
pinnacle.
to
of
me, it's
photography.
like people of all types, famous people, random people, everyone. You do your job so well that people want their photo taken by you. To me, that's the
and no matter what,
No
They're gonna
matter
guess
what,
it.
like you do it so well that like even people
Hey.
at a higher creative point.
That
want
kind of
the-
the higher creative point. I'm glad you said that real quick because that helps shut up my rebuttal real quick.
You bring it to
Because
me.
you were about to say, because I was about to say earlier, you were saying you don't like people gassing you up too much.
Right.
But if the highest of creatives are, do you
Then you
think
know it's real?
It's in a way, yeah.
Yeah,
In a way,
I'm one of those people though that
like
like
they won't fucking lie to you.
yeah.
They're probably trying to preserve their high
For
spot.
sure, but I think I'm one of those. I like to, like I said, my own lane to me is the most important. Like to me, that's what connects me with like what it is that I believe in. So it's like even if
That's that track experience right there. Can't get out your lane.
don't get me wrong, like even if like let's say Andy Leibovitz, one of like the most world-renowned photographers, was like, "Yo, you take good photos." I gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Because to me, like ego is something that gets in the way of creativity. Period. Because you think you're at a certain level, so you make like you limit yourself at that point. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just a matter of like I want people of all types to want their photo taken by me. Period. And more so, I want people who are more creative than me and in like a better position than me, have done more than me, to look down and be like, I want my photo taken by you because, you know, you do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, to me, that's the pinnacle. It's like when people notice that, yeah, I take good photos, but it's like I focus on a lot of little things. And it's like I said, that's why I love like talking to you and Dave, because you're in the creative community. So it's like your opinion matters to me, because when y'all tell me something, it's just like, I know I can trust your opinion, because you're not just someone who's just like, that's a pretty photo. Good shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, it's not. There's so much little things that go into it. So it's like if
Yeah, dude. When I'm looking at your photos, man, back to like kind of circling back to the technical ability.
yeah,
There's things that I see where I'm like, this motherfucker appreciates photography. Like,
Yeah.
like he doesn't cut corners, you know.
hmm
So I get what you're saying by that.
yeah, for sure. So to me, like to encapsulate, the pinnacle to me is having people and mostly peers of higher standards respect me and want their own
Coming to
photo
you,
yeah, to me,
man.
that's the-
Yeah, having like your idols in a sense, or like your higher peers in a sense.
Yeah.
To kind of like bring down that the
Yeah.
word. Reaching out to you, yeah,
Right.
dude.
It's like I don't want
Because
their like
if you want to even make it a deeper word, if you want to make it the pinnacle of photographer, is to always be challenged. That's a
Ooh.
good way to say it. Because at some point you might reach a point where you're just like, yeah, I could do this. It's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good. I think at that point though, you're honestly saying that's the pinnacle of any creative, is to always be challenged, like to always stay humble
Right.
through a challenge.
Right, because I mean, anyone who goes into the creative journey, I mean, you guys know this just as well as I do. You get into the creative journey, you realize that it never ends.
Yeah.
It never, you know,
Oh,
even,
no.
even if
Fuck
you
no.
get to a point that you're just like happy with, you reach that point and then you can see what's next. If you continue to work at your craft, you continue to see, you know, how you elevate. So it's just like, to me, that's again another just dope part about the creative journey, is just like it just never ends. And that's why I say like I want to do photography for the rest of my life, because I'll be preoccupied for the rest of my life, because I'll never be satisfied with like, well, this is the best it's gonna get. And it's just like, no, it's not. Like, how much more do you want to learn? How much more time do you want to put into it? Like, that's all it comes down to, man. And to me, that's the shit that keeps you young. You meet like 80, 90-year-olds who aren't retired, they're still working, and you're just like, bro, if you quit working, dog, you might you might just kick it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like just having something that you look forward to every day, and something that like pushes you and challenges you on like a consistent basis, is like literally what keeps you young. And I've told people like a lot, I'm trying to live to 150, and they're just like, what? I'm just like, well, if you shoot super high, like you're gonna get at, you know, somewhere around.
You'll get
that.
higher than you would have
Literally.
if you just shot regular.
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm gonna shoot that
That's
high.
a
and
good way to say it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, like, I'm making moves right now, like in my journey, that just like don't make sense to a lot of people who are in their careers and have salaries and like have retirement plans. It's like when I got out of like the education, a lot of people are like, what are you gonna do? And I was just like, I'm gonna figure it out. Like, this is not for me no more. I'm just gonna go I have my photography. And as long as I have that, I'm cool. I'm confident. Like, I'll find some little gigs or whatever. But hearing those people like, well, good luck, man.
Man, there's something scary about that, huh? Like,
for
not
sure.
not on our side, but on their side, to where it's just like, wait, hold on. what if you get fired today? Like, what's your other option?
What do
Like,
you-
go to another school?
What's your mindset?
Like, yeah, like,
what are you gonna do, bro?
how do you not have a fallback plan? I don't understand that. And it doesn't have to be your side hobby, but just in the sense of like, people question creatives a lot when they have, you know, their 9 to 5s. They have stability in the sense of like a routine, consensus schedule. Maybe they have like insurance benefits, dental insurance. You know what I mean? They have all these fucking things and all that, and then they see either like a job hopper or somebody who's on their own path, and it's a little bit more flexible, a little more free.
Right.
They freak out, but then it's just like on my end, I'm freaking out for them because I'm just like, you're so certain this is gonna work out. What happens if it doesn't?
Right.
What are you gonna do? You're questioning me for having multiple things. You don't even know how I'm questioning you because I literally let you handle your own business. So why the fuck are you in my business the way like
And
right
it's
now?
like and giving me like
crazy,
nervous
bro.
energy about it.
Yeah, like why are you trying to instill that?
Legit, like I'm hesitant to tell people about like certain plans that I have for the future because they're just like they don't know how they would do it. So like their nervousness like kind of just like shows, and I'm just like, I'm good, bro. Like you know,
Yeah.
I've been here before. This is like, I can see what I'm trying to do. That's all that
Yeah.
matters to me right now. Like, but you know, I'm grateful to meet those people though because it's like, I could do that too.
It helps set gauges.
Literally,
Yes,
it gives
helps
you an
let
idea of
know.
like where you're at, like in the journey type shit.
The best story about gauges I could give is ACL with gorillas and acid. Cause like
What's up?
David and I both took some acid before gorillas at 19, 18, maybe even 17 ACL.
Yeah, 2017.
2017 ACL. And he was higher than I was. And it was really great cuz I was enjoying it cuz I knew I wasn't as high as him cuz I could see him right here. But he got too high, so they had to like take him out to the back of the crowd. We were at the front for gorillas, bro. It was crazy. But as soon as he left, I was conscious enough to think, fuck, I'm the highest one in the group now. Like the ceiling's been removed.
Yeah.
So like it's really good to have gauges.
For sure,
You
bro.
get what I'm saying? Like that's a funnier, like lighter side of gauges, but like in the sense of talking to people who are kind of stuck in their ways, man.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating to talk to people who have only known I have this job at this time, nothing else can happen at this time,
Right.
and when I'm not at this job, I'm planning for Friday night.
It literally, bro. Like, and it's like sometimes
I don't want to sound so Gary Vaynerchuk about it.
No, but
you
you're
know?
100% right, bro. Because it's like it be your own people sometimes, like people you grew up with, like,
Yeah.
and you love them, and they're your homies, and it's just like that's their mentality, that's their paradigm on
Yeah,
life.
they're
It's
just
like,
celebrating Friday every day.
yeah, bro. And it's just like I get it, but it's just like I'm just not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm probably busier Friday through Sunday than any other, oddly enough.
mm-hmm.
Sorry, you're already talking about it. I'm all about,
No,
how do you
you're
feel
good.
about that? Let's tune too much of the podcast host mode.
Nah, you're good, bro. You're good. But I forget what question you asked me before that.
Me neither, but I'm just trying to ask. I'm trying to ask like how you feel about those people that are like that. Like, what's your opinion on that?
Oh, for sure,
You're
like-
thankful that they're there, but
Yeah, no. Like I said, it helps with the gauge.
do
Like,
you think they need to exist? Now, I'm not saying like let's get them out, but are you? What I'm trying to ask is, do you wish everybody just kind of had like a side passion, like or like something that kept them passionate,
I think we all deserve
that
it.
changes their mindset on the
For sure.
mundane? Because we're all gonna go through the mundane.
Literally, bro.
We're all gonna go
That's a
through
great
it.
question. I think we all deserve to be passionate about something because and I say that because of my own experience. Like, my life made more sense when I found photography. You know what I'm saying? Like when I got passionate about photography, like it felt like I had more reason to live. Like it gave me more purpose. That's the word I'm looking for. It gave me way more
That's good.
purpose. And I
We
feel
haven't
like,
said that this whole time. That's the perfect word for it.
yeah, bro. Like that, and just like so I say like everyone. I think everyone deserves to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Not to feel like, oh, I gotta wake up and I gotta go to work and I gotta. It's just like, yeah, you do, but it's just like, what else are you doing to be like, oh well, I have to go to work, but I get to do this later. So, you know,
I
what I'm
feel like
saying?
people are so upset about going to work because they're really the only thing that they have to say when it comes to I get to do this is I get to go to fucking Cincy later.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not happy. You know you're not happy about it.
Mhm.
You pretend you're fucking happy with the drink in your hand and shit while you're bumping shoulders with everyone, but really you wish you were doing something else. Even if it's as something else as mundane as I really wish I was just like at home playing Fortnite or some shit. Like just stick to what you really want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then you'll be a lot happier in life.
I'm
But
glad-
you're trying to fit certain social expectations also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to encourage people to be alone, but I am trying to encourage people to not feel like they need to be around sardines, like cans of sardines
Right.
all the time to feel like they're social.
Right. And
Crowds of 10 are cool.
I think that's the importance
You know
of
what I mean?
like what you, me, and Dave, and like all the people around creatives. That's the importance of what we do, in my opinion. Is just like for the culture in general. Is like when, at least from my experience, when I meet people who are just like in their salary jobs, they did what high school and society told them to do. They went to school, they got a good degree, they got a good job, they're in a career, and they're doing it. Like they're living life based off of like what was indoctrinated into them early on, right? And then when they meet people like us, and then we're doing things like podcasts, and we're doing all this crazy creative shit that they didn't even fathom to even trying. To me, I think like we're like the balance for them, to let them know like, yo, you can do all that. You can do your little job, but like you can also do all the stuff you're passionate about too, man. Like there's a bunch of us out here just trying shit. You don't have to do it the conventional way. You can just try to like branch out and try other shit. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like at least when I talk to people in education, and I've had multiple conversations with like friends about this, like it's so crazy to talk to people in like their jobs, because they're so in it. They're so in that current of life that it's just like hearing someone do some crazy shit like what we're doing, like throwing a show, midnight sessions, like doing boudoir photo shoots. It's just like, what? You're doing what on the side? It's just like, yeah, bro. Like this is just a job to pay my bills, bro. Like,
You're making chicken tenders again for the third night in a row.
yeah, it's like, what do you really want to do? Like what do you really want to do?
Don't be embarrassed about it.
For sure. And if you don't know what you really want to do, like now you know where to start in terms of just like self growth. You need to sit down and talk to yourself and be like, what is it that I like, genuinely, like, besides working and making money? Like, yeah, no, you have to do that, but it's just like, do you like drawing? Like, I think Dave earlier, he kind of like got into like, he understands himself and like, how you're feeling, and like, how to like, based off of how you're feeling, how to navigate from there. I think that's like an undervalued like skill as a human being, because not everyone is self-regulatory that way. You know what I'm saying? They don't know when they're in a position where just like, I need to step back, take time for myself, and just like, get my mind right before I go back into this. Some people just self-destruct. People run into fucking, what is it called? Midlife crises. I've seen recently people are doing quarter life crises.
Literally 25, bro.
Yeah,
You
bro.
gotta readjust.
Low key,
Jesus
like,
Christ.
legit people doing shit like that now. And to me, it's like, it's obviously like, it's a byproduct of the system itself. Growing up in El Paso, growing up in public education, you guys know, like, to me, it's more about like they're trying to
Free
make
lunch.
Yeah, free lunch. They're trying to make us become these employees at some point. They're not pushing like who
True.
we are as individuals.
Dude, wow, yeah. What did your counselor tell you in high school as you're getting like good grades and shit? Trying to tell you to like go to be an engineer and
Yeah,
shit.
well, it was like-
There's nothing wrong with being an engineer. I wanted to be a video game designer, dude. No one was telling me to go to DeVry. Nah, you straight.
Okay.
But also with yeah, dude, like
Yeah, no, and to me, like, whenever I talk to a counselor in high school, I'm not trying to like talk down on them.
Yeah,
It
for
was,
sure.
It was about, did you fill out your college applications? And I'm like,
yeah, dude.
I'm like, bro, like, and at the time, like, I don't understand, like,
Do you think though it's because they understand that college is gonna be the fucking experience that? Do you think they try not to waste too much time because they know, chances are what you're going in as, if you really properly experience college the way you should, you join organizations, you get involved in stuff, it might change.
that for sure, but I think it's multifactorial. Like,
I'm trying to give them a little bit of credit, just a little.
yeah, just a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, they have the right intention.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But at the same time, I feel like they're just trying to do their job.
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
Because I worked in
that
education.
became systematic for them. Yeah,
sure,
Oh,
like-
you're on the inside. You have a better.
I've seen it, bro. Like, and B, they're just trying to do what their bosses are telling them to do, and the requirement
quotas,
is
all that shit. Yeah.
requirement is push kids to college. And I told a lot of my students, a lot of the seniors, because I worked in special education.
Okay.
I'm not even looking at you to go to college, and not because you're dumb, but because it's like you're barely passing, bro. Like, academics is not for you, and it's not for everyone. But guess what, bro?
Hands-on might be.
Yeah, I was like, you make a trade. I was like, dude, you can make more money than teachers if you get into the right
Straight
trade.
up.
So I would push kids hard to the Riverside trade school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Vocational programs.
Hard, bro. Because it's like, to me, when the counselors are pushing like college and all this stuff, it's like they're brainwashed by the same system they're working in. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you get out and you be an adult and you're creative, you see it. You see, you're just like, damn, like that helped me like develop in a way, but at the same time, like the most of the development I've done has been on my own in the real world, because the real world is a whole lot different than what high school is. High school is so nice and it's curated and someone's holding your hand along the way. But when you get out and you're by yourself and you're graduated, every day counts. No one's telling you what to do. So it's like everything you do every day.
That's when the timer starts, huh?
That's when the timer starts,
Damn.
bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you can waste away your time. You can get a regular job. Nothing is wrong with that. You can work at Walmart. You can be you can be like a supervisor at Walmart. You can be a fucking whatever it is. You can have a regular, and that's fine. But it's like, to me, if you haven't ventured out and understood like what else is out there, it's like, well, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because now you're buying into something that someone told you.
Especially these days, like in this world now that we live in now, we actually have access to the other side of the world.
Yeah, very true.
And why aren't we taking advantage?
Very true. It's
Why
like,
aren't we dreaming big enough? Why aren't we being ambitious enough?
right, when all the ideas are out there. If you're on your phone constantly, then you see what's going on around the world. You see around what other people are doing. If that doesn't inspire you, it's just like, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think about it as like, well, if someone were to tell me that, what would I think? And I was just like, the only thing that changed my mind was psychedelics, bro. Like,
Dude, seriously. So like, I think psychedelics, and we talked about this on the last podcast with the Apaso shroom mushrooms.
oh yeah, I saw that one.
Those two people are like super dope, and
Yeah.
I was saying that one of the things that psychedelics has done for me is that it's made me more me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I found deeper layers of myself. And so like how you just said right now, like go out and find what's out there. I think most people can't appreciate what's out there before they find out what's in them, like what's inside, what's in here.
That's well said.
Right? So like
dude.
once you know what's in here, then you can appreciate what's out there.
And I tell people all the time that is to me the most apparent what is the word, paradox of life. As in, like, the more work and understanding you do within yourself, the more understanding and like things change outside of yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you start within yourself, it's like you'll notice a change within yourself. But I tell people it's like magic, man. When I decided to like build a better character and like work on myself, things around me started to change. You know what I'm saying? Like I started to notice things like would work in my favor, and things would work in a manner that was conducive to like the trajectory I was trying to go in, especially
Right.
like when I picked up a camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Such a paradox, man. I know it seems like very like hippie and cliche, but it's like, man.
But even like when you're in
There's
like,
nothing hippie about it.
even like it's crazy how you worded it that way, because like when you're taking psychedelics, there's that moment of like you have to let go, and most people don't
Yes.
want to. But it's a paradox, because it's like no, you like the last thing you want to do is actually what you should lean into.
Yes.
And it breaks it presents a paradox, and it forces you to choose the choice that you think is wrong.
Yes.
And
man.
that choice is what's gonna like relieve your pain.
Right. It's like if you want more control of your reality, you have to let go in certain moments
Right. Of the reality.
of the reality, bro. It's such a paradox, man. It's like it's so contradictory, and it's like once you learn that paradigm and the way that wave kind of works, and you use it to your advantage, it's like, man, is it rewarding? Because now you're no longer scared to do things that you don't want to do. Now you're just like, oh, I got to.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I don't know what's going to come out of it, but it's just like, in the past,
Spoke
it's
to
worked.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the past, it's worked before. Let me just
Yeah.
continue to do that, man. That was well said, Dave.
Man. Dude. I'm consciously allowing for conversations to breathe more
Mm-hmm.
in our episodes as we go by. And I feel like this has been one of those that's like been the easiest to just let that happen.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, bro.
There's been a lot of things that I could just really resonate with as you're saying it, man.
This is definitely gonna be one where, like, as I'm editing this, like, I'm still gonna pick up on things I didn't pick up in real time right now.
Word, I gotta watch this again, bro. 'Cause, like, again, I think a lot of value is in this video as terms of like what me and Evan are being saying and what you're saying, Dave. Like I said, I'm trying to speak as best I can for like younger and more inexperienced creatives for sure. Like, because I feel like when I first got into it, I was just by myself. Like I was just like trying to figure it out along the way. You know.
What was your process of trying to tap into the community?
Oh man,
I know that we talked about being shy and, you know, like
I'm so glad you brought this up, bro, because I have a memory with you in particular about it, and I'll never forget.
Casa
it,
Ortiz type of shit.
Casa Ortiz, you know
dude.
exactly.
Yeah, dude. I know almost all of our encounters. There's like enough to count.
Yes,
like
bro.
I wish we had more, but there's enough to count.
For sure, like early on, I was like, I know I have to network with more creatives. Like,
Okay.
because the people around me, they just weren't in the game. I love my people around me, but
Yeah.
they just weren't. You know, I had to like bounce creative ideas off of, and they just weren't in that headspace. So I just had to put myself in like other creative spaces. So I would just show up to like Casa Ortiz or Three Missions Brewery. And one day I remember seeing you there with Dave, and we just hung out, had a couple drinks. I'll never forget, bro. We were in line. I think we were gonna get a beer or get something to eat. And I was like, yo, I just love what you're doing. Like the whole creative space community is like, I'm just trying to be a part of it. And I'll never forget this question. You were just like, I hear you. It's like, what do you bring to the table? I'll never forget. And I literally like, in my mind, I was like, holy shit, you're right, bro. Like, as much as I want to be a part of this, like a creative community, it's like, what do I bring to the table? And after that conversation, bro, like, it just stuck with me. I was just like, it just pushed me so hard. Because I was like, man, he's fucking right. Like, I can't even answer that question right now. Because I'm so, like, early on. Like, I can say, well, I'm a photographer. But at the same time, I wasn't at a certain standard to, like, push that on people and, like, get hired. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I wasn't going to, like, take on any job that I knew that I wasn't equipped to handle. Especially, like, if they wanted a certain standard. I'd be like, nah, it's just... But when you told me that, I was like, you're right. Like, what do I bring to the table, man? And just, like, after that, I was just like, all right. Let me show you type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm hella grateful for that shit, dog.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember that exact day too.
Mm-hmm.
I think we ended up seeing like they lit the man on fire.
yeah. in the back.
Yes.
Yeah. That was some of our earliest times in the Socorro area too. And what's crazy is just our creative time has just like brought us to Socorro a couple other times. Cafe Piro,
Mm-hmm.
Gabe and Mel, those two are like people that we talk to very frequently. When Casa Ortiz was around, we'd be there all the time too. But yeah, dude, that was crazy that way. Like I saw you there by chance. I'm trying to remember that interaction in the sense that like, did like we plan to see each other there? We didn't plan it, right? Like we
No,
just
no,
happened to see
like,
each other?
I knew they were throwing
They
an
had the
event.
pomegranate beer at that time.
Yes,
Like, it was all lit.
yes, bro. I just showed up, like, and like I said early on, a lot of it was like making myself do things that I wasn't comfortable with.
This
like,
was that?
yeah, because like I said, I was hella shy. At the
Damn, that's
beginning.
crazy. Not to interrupt, but like that's crazy that like Socorro was the thing, like a Socorro event. It was where you decided to get out of your shell.
I just thought it
But
was
to be
dope.
honest, like that's when they were really doing some big stuff within the art community there.
For
So they
sure.
were having a lot of art galleries at that time.
I remember Gabby was setting up.
Yep.
Like a bunch of like artists from out of town coming like trying to sell their stuff. It was really cool, man. It was a really cool scene. So when they like changed it up and they changed that whole area, I was kind of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was hurt, man. I was like, damn, like I thought this was gonna be legit for a while, man.
Yeah,
Such a great setup, but I think they're getting back to that.
maybe I haven't
what
kept up with
you
them
know?
too much, but there's. I mean, what does that look like today? If you're gonna step out of your comfort zone and interact a bit, what are you looking towards? It might not be Socorro. Or are you looking towards like?
It's more bigger. Stepping out of my comfort zone. Now that I'm at like I've gotten better at it and I pushed myself. Now I'm at the point of just like stepping out of my comfort zone in terms of like making bigger deals with like more money involved. You know what I'm
So
saying?
what does that look like?
Like create
Instead of a Socorro little art event,
mhm.
what are you going? What do you frequent now? What piques your interest now?
Networking in a way that like I haven't done before in terms of just like I'm always on now. Like now it's like I know the skills that I have, so it's like no matter where I'm at, it's like I'm always gonna bring it up and be like, yo, this is what I do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like being very cognizant of the fact that like every interaction you have is a network opportunity. Especially this past summer, man, I met a couple people like out in Austin. I spent like a week out in Austin with a certain friend, and she was just introducing me to like certain people, and like these people had businesses, and one of them was a president of a company, and it was just like I was like, man, like I've reached a certain space and like networking. And I'm like, holy shit, like I gotta be able to like articulate myself in a very like clear and concise way, and like market myself in a very like humble but confident way. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do this, whatever you need. That sort of thing. Like I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, dude.
Me.
Hell yeah.
But
I see it. Like you go from trying to meet other creatives, and I'm not saying that you ditch that, but it evolves into trying to meet other funders.
Yeah, like it's like now it's more so like I got over the shyness.
Yeah.
And now it's more just like
But that takes it to another level of like, oh shit, I'm shy to talk to people who can pay me now.
Yeah.
And then you got to break that shyness now.
Legit, like.
And then I'm sure there's other levels of shyness that you're
Right.
gonna have to overcome.
Legit, and I'm literally at that point in the journey of just like finding the best way to convey who I am and what I can do, and like, you know, just like what I bring to the table to people who have more money than I do and more money than I probably
And more, not in a bad way, but like more of a vision.
Yes.
They need somebody to help them accomplish it.
Exactly, bro.
We're so used to, oh, it's my vision, it's my vision.
Mm-hmm.
But when someone has a bigger vision than you, it's just like, and vision's so subjective.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a gauge that we all have to have where it's like, oh, this is of a bigger impact. The vision that I'm trying to do, when you put this in the scope of this project, it becomes just a component of the project.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's so much more going on than we, as creatives, usually think, and it's like
I think that's the ego death that a lot of creatives need to have. Is like there's bigger things going on behind your creative input.
Ooh, well said.
Yeah, but like that's something I'm battling too. Honestly, I feel like creativity is the biggest part of any project, but I gotta get myself out of that shit because really there's a lot of impact that's going on a lot of projects.
Right.
That I think if you just handpicked any creative, you'd go wrong by doing that because a lot of creatives are just too up their own ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
I think a big part of it too is like
we've been talking about ego so much and we haven't really like dialed in on ego itself.
Bro.
So I think this is a good chance for us to do that.
Huge, bro, huge. I mean,
There is no question, by the way. We're just talking about the ego.
To me, like the ego in general is something like, to me it's like a dog on a leash. This is like my perspective on it. If you don't give that dog any room, it's gonna go nuts, right? It's gonna go crazy because you ain't letting it do what it do. It's a dog. You gotta let it do what it has to do, run around or whatever. So when you consciously give it some leeway, and you're like, like do you a little bit, bro.
Be a little judgmental.
Yeah, be you.
Criticize a bit.
Because right now you're gonna make an impression on these people.
Okay.
So it's like if you're timid, they're not gonna remember you. Be you right now, and it's just like, be you, and then afterwards it's like, all right, have that comment. All right, calm down. Find that balance between like giving yourself room to give that ego leash and do what it wants to do, so that when you don't have to use it, you can keep it at bay. And that's my perspective. Is like when I'm by myself and I'm hanging out and I'm editing, I'm not thinking about ego. I'm not thinking about when I'm with my friends, when I'm with my family. Like ego is so far from me. I'm just being myself, right? So it's like it's on a leash. But it's like when I go out to a creative space and I'm networking, it's like, all right, bro, now's the time. Turn it on a little
Smell
bit.
the flowers a bit.
Yeah, turn it on a little bit, dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I give myself those moments to be like, yeah, bro. If someone doesn't fuck with you because you're like this, not everyone's gonna like
That's
you, bro.
crazy. Now we're talking about whether or not ego is like it's like this gray area resource that you could either make it black and make it be, assuming black is negative, white's positive.
Right.
Like you make it black and now you're over here just being cocky and shit in places you don't need to. But then the white side of it, like the lighter, darker end is like, because that sounded racist as fuck.
I get you though.
I didn't mean for it to sound like that. Like, forgive the. I'm not even gonna cut that because of how like obvious that was. But just in the sense that like the easier side of ego is I need to sell this. I need to sell myself.
Okay.
But then the like the more like malicious side of it is when you start to criticize people for no
Right.
benefit to the community. It's
Right.
not. There's no communal benefit to it and everything like that to point
Right.
out
There's no
the
positives
negatives.
in that.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying with that. When it comes to having to turn it on,
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
I know earlier you talked about like ego death, right? And
Yeah. Dude, in that case,
Yes. So I've had
is
that.
ego death not necessary then?
I don't like to call it ego death, and I say that because, like, to me,
Okay.
it's a balance. Like, to me, ego is a part of your personality. So it's like to kill something off that's a part of you is like you're doing something unnatural. So to me, it's about managing ego. That's why I say like I give myself.
Oh, dude, it's unnatural.
I give myself time to be. I give
Channel it.
myself. I give my ego time to be what it is. I've cultivated myself to this person. Like, why would I not allow myself to be it completely 100%? You know what I'm saying? Like, and if someone doesn't like it, it's like, then I have to sit down and be like, well, not everyone's going to like you, bro. Like, that's what it is 100% of the time, whether you're turning it on or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you shouldn't, like, let someone's negative opinion about you being yourself dictate whether or not, you speak freely and you speak openly. Like, to me, it's like if you let your ego run free, it's like, yeah, you lose the balance. And at some point, you become an asshole and you become arrogant. But it's like if you learn how to like keep that shit on a leash and you dictate when you want it to show and when you want to like keep it at bay and work on it. To me, that's true power. To me, that's real free will, if you will, like because you're choosing.
Actually, I feel like, because you use the word free will, I always saw ego, like you can't have free will without ego.
Ooh.
Why do you say that?
Because, so like there's the me and there's the I. So the me is the ego, and then the I is that above the ego that is in charge of reining it in.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like you can't
Yeah.
you can't
Right,
decide.
fuck.
We unlocked David. We
can't-
finally lasted a
Holy
podcast long enough to unlock David.
Yo, I
Got
never
him.
heard it like that. Good
The
shit.
me and the
David.
I.
And so I feel like you can't be a me unless you have free will. So then you can't have free will without an ego.
Right.
But the I is there to control the choices that you are now allowed to make.
Yes.
So like there's that balance that you're talking about, like reining it in. So like the I is the dog walker and the me is the dog.
Oh man, damn, Dave, taking me out there, big dog. There's this. I don't know if you guys seen this
I
KR.
barely see the light now. The beacon home.
I don't know if
It's
y'all.
a distance.
There's this KRS-One interview that he does, and it's like he has this rock star like sticker, and he's like, all right, he's like, and when I count to 3, I want everyone in the crowd to think rock star to yourself, like in your mind. So he's like 1, 2, 3, and he counts, and he's like, all right, and he gets quiet, and he's like, all right, he's like, what was the voice that said that? And I was like, damn, like he's like, all right, now what was, like you said that, but you didn't move your mouth and you didn't make any like audio with your mouth. You didn't make no sound, but you heard that. He's like, what was the thing that heard that? And I was like, damn. And to me, that just helped me like understand like there's a part of me that's like making decisions, and there's a part of me that's listening to the decisions that I want to make. And sometimes the part that's making the decisions isn't always in tune with like what is calling the shots. So it's like when I understood that like that separation, it helped me like step back and be like, all right, like there's something that is happening that I have control over, but it's like if I'm not in tune with that thing, it does what it wants to do, and then I have to think about it later. You know what I'm saying? So the reason I bring that up is because, when you talk about I and me, to me, it's like there's this, I'm me, and I'm telling Jordan, third person, like what to do. And sometimes I don't always have that connection. And like Jordan is just moving. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to like figure out what to do next. But then there are times where I'm like, I'm so connected with whatever I believe in, or just I'm so in tune with like I and me, like I have that balance that I'm just like, all right, Jay, this is what you're gonna do today. Boom, 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 boom. And it's just like one after the other. And to me, like that's like me being in tune with like my ego. Like I'm
Damn.
I'm telling my ego, this is what we're gonna do. This is how it's gonna happen. And it's like a relationship you have, just like with any other person. You have a relationship with yourself in terms of just like, you know what you're gonna do and why you're gonna do it. And when you start doing shit that doesn't make sense, or you're doing shit that just like doesn't coincide with your ego, that's when you reach. In my opinion, you reach certain points where you're just like, you don't know what the fuck to do. You reach
You
a
start
point.
acting like it too, huh?
Yeah, and you see it in people. You're just
Yeah.
like, why are you acting so shaky, dog? And it's just like, damn, maybe it's because you
You
ain't
look
even.
thrown off.
Yeah, you're lit. Yeah, you. It's a lit, and it's like it's easier to see when you're more in tune.
Yeah.
'Cause you're just like you see,
Yeah.
oh shit, bro, like something's off
Well,
with
that
you.
boy ain't fucking up.
Yeah. Something's going on with him. He don't want to talk about it, but I see it. Like it's
I
all
see.
good.
He got a pump cover on. he building something underneath.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
that's crazy, bro. Cause like now that I'm thinking, as you guys have been talking about it, I can't help but think. I used to have an imaginary friend when I was growing up, but like
Oh,
I think it's
shit.
not an imaginary friend. I think it's just like our subconscious, our ego that's
Okay,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
talking with us as we grow along. And I'm like, I think that might be what imaginary friends are.
With yourself.
It's
Yeah,
yourself,
like, you know what I mean?
or a certain part of yourself just trying to connect with you, like let you know what's kind of going on.
But we call it that as we grow up, like,
Yeah.
or as like a young age. But I think that's what it is overall. Is like
Yeah.
we're just. I talk to myself a lot, dude.
Same.
A lot, bro. Like it's insane. But I feel like that's why I'm so calculated when I do talk later on, because I allow myself to just talk to myself.
Right, I tell people a lot. I'm like, when you think about something and you're thinking about it a lot, like when you're allowing it to ruminate in your mind, that's one source of stimulus. But when you say it out loud, now your ear is hearing it and your
Oh,
brain
yeah.
is processing it a completely different way.
Along with talking,
Right.
do you find yourself pacing the space that you're in a lot?
Dude, I do it so much that sometimes like I'm talking and like I get to a point in my apartment that I don't even realize that I'm mad. I'm just like,
You're just pacing.
I'm just
David, do you
doing
pace?
shit.
Yeah.
You're just pissing off your bottom neighbor just with squeaking.
Yeah,
dude.
Sorry, Erica.
With all the wood. Hey, wood grain. But I used to think that it was weird to go and just like talk to yourself so much, but now I'm like, I think that's why I'm so sure of everything.
I agree.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I actually feel like it's a form of therapy.
Yeah. How did you
Took the
guys
words out of my
describe
mouth.
therapy when I was like all wrong about it? Like it's the actual acknowledgement that you're here. How did you describe it?
Right, yeah. So therapy is because you kind of always know what you need to hear, but it's understanding why you need to hear it.
Well said.
Because most people are like, I know I need to change, and like they might even know what the issue is, but like and by what I mean by like understanding it is like finally it clicks, and you realize why it's important that you have to change, and it's like it's almost like your ego finally agrees with the I, and is finally willing to make that change.
Yeah, like you both have the same reason to like make that change.
Yeah.
Like, you're in agreement type shit.
And when that agreement happens, that's therapy.
Damn, bro. Good shit.
And it can come in different forms. Like
Do
personally,
you have an example?
I like psychedelics. Like an example of what a form of
Now, what's your biggest
When you
trauma?
became in agreement with
the I, or the me became in agreement with the I.
like, was it a diet thing, maybe a
It could
physical
be.
thing?
It could be.
What's something for you personally?
Finally, like the image of David. Finally erasing that and being like, well, like it's almost like I had a mask on,
Mm-hmm.
and then my therapy was realizing that that mask isn't me, and it's actually hiding the real me. So taking it off, in the way I see it, like how I mentioned earlier, the psychedelics made me more me. I realized like, oh, this is what I like. These are my interests. This is what I want to do. Why don't I just do that instead of what the social trends was? Because I was a CS major, and I was like, I'm gonna be an engineer.
Right.
But I just wasn't happy, and like my therapy was me realizing why I wasn't happy.
That's a great the how and the why.
Do you consider that therapy to be the pacing, the back and forth, the talking to yourself?
So since then, talking to myself, the therapy has been not necessarily like that click, but keeping it clicking and it's like reassurance. So I'll pace talking to myself and being like, no, like this is what I want. This is where I should be. Like,
Yeah.
This is what it is.
I want to tie back to a question that like stemmed from earlier. We talk about mundane conversations with the coworkers, but when you're really fixated on a certain goal, chances are your conversation starts to lean towards that goal a lot. So how do you differentiate mundane water cooler talk with two people that are talking about the same passions every day that ends up becoming the same conversation every day? And yes, it progresses over time, but it's the same conversation every day. They're talking about the same thing. Maybe I already answered it, but
To me,
what's
it's
the
just
differentiation?
to me it's just the awareness. Like it's like if the awareness in terms of just like being mindful of like what you're talking about and why you're talking about it. If you're talking about the same thing every day, it's just like,
I
well,
love that. I love that we're in a 2-hour conversation. You see this progressively getting lower. Yeah. Sorry.
no, no, you're good. To me, if like you're in the same conversation every day, then you're not being mindful of why you're having that conversation.
That's true. The conversation doesn't progress.
Right.
How's the weather today? You know what I mean?
Even if I'm like, yo, I got X, Y, and Z going on, but you're saying that every day, it's just like,
Where does it go?
yeah, like, all right, bro. And then, like, what's next? Like,
Okay.
to me, like I said, it's just being mindful of the fact that who you're having
At
conversation
that
with.
point, you're almost forcing to talk. You're
Yeah.
almost forcing yourself to talk.
Literally, like I said, it's being mindful of, like, who you're having conversation with. Like, and that's such a, like, a big thing. And I'm going to push this, like, on any young person watching this podcast right now. Like, you have to literally learn how to read the room because there are people that will literally shut you down on any creative ideas you have because they have no idea how to do it, or it's just so far-fetched that they're just like, what? Like, are you sure? It's just like, yeah, bro. Like, so it's like reading the room and knowing like when to speak up about certain projects, and like, to me that's so important. And I think that in that helps you value certain people, because I've met certain people along the way that I'm just like, I'll never forget you. Like, if I make it creatively and I need this type of like skill, I know I can call you because like your standards and like what we're talking about, you understand like what it is that I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you meet people who are just like, they just want to pass time at work, so they just want to talk about like everyday shit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. And it's like anyone who's worked in a mundane job at any place, you have those mundane conversations.
Water cooler talk.
Literally with coworkers, you're just like, yeah, man, doing X, Y, and Z, like it's cool, like, and then you meet people.
And you tell them what you're doing too, but you keep it at like the subtlest level yourself.
Literally,
too.
bro, just a little bit. You
Just
don't want to
because
dive
they
in.
ask you, you're like, dude, if I get into it, man, you
I'm
don't.
gonna lose you.
Yeah, dude. Like,
No, for sure. That's why I say like you meet people who are just like on the opposite side of that, and it's like you don't forget people like that who are just like they're on the same wave. And to me, those people, at least to me, let me know like frequencies are real.
yeah.
You're on a certain frequency and you're talking about certain things, and you meet up people who aren't on that, and you're just like, all right. And then you people who are like, they know exactly what you're trying to do and then they add to whatever ideas you have, and you're just like, we gotta hang out more.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
for sure. Like, I love meeting people like that, and I think to me that is one of like the rewards of the journey itself. The marathon is like running into people like that, because they influence you if you allow them to. They influence you in certain creative aspects that sometimes they make you better, or they make you think about your craft in a certain way that you didn't even think about before. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah.
human interaction to me is so important if you do it with the right people and at the right time, of course.
Hell yeah, man. Timing. Timing is so important. The way you just said that right now, timing could seem whatever in the wrong context, but that context just allowed timing to shine right there. 'Cause, dude, you meet somebody when they're like, imagine like the way you just said right now with your Instagram, how it kind of goes through like certain chapters and in certain eras. Imagine somebody caught you at the wrong time. Your whole business model could be completely wrong because of the fact that you timed it wrong.
Right.
That's crazy, and that's the delicacy of a creative career. Man.
Timing, crazy. And I say that timing to me is so important. I'm going to get a little deep on y'all for a sec.
Go ahead.
To me, timing is what lets me know that something's watching over me. And I say that because along the journey, there have been moments where it's like I've gotten into certain creative situations where it's like I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to do it. And let me just use an example. Like my first wedding ever. It was like I said, I had an A33. This was a 14 megapixel camera. Okay. For anyone who doesn't know megapixels, your iPhone is 12 megapixels. So I had a digital camera that was only 2 megapixels more, and someone asked me to do a wedding
Small ass lens.
You know what I'm saying? So and it was an 18 to 55 stock. Nothing crazy. So you guys know.
Aperture like 5.6.
Anyone who knows cameras knows that this is the most basic shit ever. So
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
first camera shit. And I told the client, I got one camera, on camera flash, it pops up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's all I got. Like I'm gonna charge you $300 for the whole wedding, but I'm charging you that low because it's like this is my first time. Super nervous type shit. Show up to the wedding. The wedding is everybody shows up late, number one, and I get with the client, I'm like, what's going on? Like, is everyone okay? Well, he doesn't really want to marry her. She just wants to get married.
What?
Bro, I'll never forget it. It was the first thing I ever did, and I was just like, what the And this is the first time I was just like, you know what, let me buy two batteries in case my battery runs out. This is how early it is in the journey for me. So y'all know I have one battery and one I have in the packaging. Okay, like I didn't even open it, I didn't even charge it. Show up to the wedding.
You got it as is?
Bro,
That shit's always like 50% as is.
That's what I'm saying.
man.
Did the wedding. We show up to the reception, and I asked the client who hired me. It's the daughter of the groom. I'm like, what's up with the food? Like, it just look weird. He's like, oh, my dad was a cook in jail, and he made all the food himself. I said, what? What? I was like, all right. I just rolled with it. I was just like, all right. But the whole time I'm like, this is the craziest shit I've ever been a part of. Like, and it was just so weird at the moment. So I just keep going about it. Bro, I'm not even joking. And I'm saying this like with the public right now. I haven't told the public. But at the reception, I run out of battery.
Oh.
So I get the battery from the package, put it in. None. No charge. The last hour of the wedding, bro, I'm acting like I'm taking photos. I'm not even joking, bro. Like, the entire last hour, I'm just faking it. Like,
So the bride's like, that flash ain't gonna off in a minute.
literally, bro. Like, literally. Like, but, okay, so I do the wedding. I submit it. Like, I guess they're okay with it. They don't tell me nothing about it, but they pay me. It's cool. I look back on it now and I reflect, and I'm like, if that wedding were like the weddings I do now, I'd feel really bad. I feel,
Hell
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, but I was just like, man, I feel like low key, the timing of that wedding was so precise. I needed that particular wedding to get this journey started. You know what I'm saying? Like, they showed up, he didn't really give a fuck. The bride was just trying to get married. They looked miserable in the pictures, but it was just like, I tried my best. And I was like, this is probably the worst, Jay, that it's probably going to ever go get. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is literally the bottom. You're at the bottom right now.
Reach
like,
it now.
Yeah. Embrace it and just, like, look forward to whatever's coming next. And I was just like, man, the fact that it was literally, the fact that it unfolded that way, like I said earlier, it felt like it was literally folded particularly like that for me and the journey. Like, I had to have that wedding to start it. Because if I started on some higher end, and I like fucked it up and they weren't happy, I feel like it really would have discouraged me and I'd have been like, this just ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so like particular. I was hella grateful about the timing and the way it went. And I'm just like, man, like, and I tell people like, I didn't just choose photography. I literally feel like it chose me at some point. Like, cause it unfolded so naturally. It was just like, man, like you started at the bottom. It's all good, bro. The next one was a little bit better. The next wedding after that, a little bit better. And it's continued to elevate after that. So I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, if I ever think that this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, I know that I'm in the wrong mindset. It's like, nah, bro. Like, it's literally been curated for you in a particular way. If you don't want to acknowledge that, that's on you. But it's just like, I'm not going to be ignorant to the fact that it was just it was set up so perfectly for me. You know what I'm saying? I was so shy and so timid about doing the first one that at some point I was like, oh shit, like, it ain't even a big wedding. Like, this is so crazy. This man made the food. Like, it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the little things I was hella grateful for. Like, super grateful for. And I feel like the need to share that because it's like, sometimes shit don't make sense and sometimes shit is not what you expect it to be. But when it happens at a particular time and in a particular way, I feel like you have to be mindful of that because it's like, that's the kind of shit that sets up bigger gigs and better opportunities for you later, as long as you go in there with like a positive mindset, you know what I'm saying, and the eagerness to like do more and be more. Like, that's the rewarding, that's the karma you get from going into like each situation with like a positive mindset. And like I said, like the mindset to like want to be better, like genuinely. Like, if you're in it for the money, I feel like those opportunities will come. But if you're in it for the right reasons, man, you're gonna be presented with opportunities that you're just like, you're more grateful for the opportunity to do that than you're grateful for the profit that you made from that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love like travel photography, because it's like, people pay me to do that. Don't get me wrong, every travel photography gig that I've done, I've only made like $50. I'm not even shitting. Like, they literally pay for me to go there and to fly, and I tell them it's all good. Like, I'm so grateful that you're just willing to fly me out and to house me. I'll eat and I'll figure it out on my own. I'm just grateful that you like put me in a different demographic, and you're allowing the world to see me from like your perspective. Like, that's just free networking and free advertisement for me. Like, so it's to me, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to get at in particular, but I'm just like, if you're trying to get into something creatively, like, the reason why you do is the same reason why you don't. As in, like, you know, if you don't have the right reason to get into it, that's the same reason that you're gonna get out of it. It's like, if you're getting into it to like meet people and like be a cool dude, cool. But if you don't become that cool dude and meet cool people, that's the same reason you're gonna get out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you have to have like,
Getting it better as you yeah.
you have to have a real reason to get into it. It can't just be some shallow shit that you're just lying to yourself.
That shit
about.
runs out eventually.
That's all it is. It'll literally run out, and then you'll hit that point and be like, well, all right, never mind then, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
man, you're gonna be mad at the scene
yeah.
because your ass wasn't sustainable.
Yeah, bro. People like that all the time.
I feel you.
So it's like, if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I'm big on, like, whatever happens, it was supposed to happen that way. And I mean that. Like, that's brought me a lot of peace. Because, like, there are times where I fuck up. I make mistakes all the time. And I hit that point where I'm just like, I can be down on myself and I can dwell and I can think about all the things I could have done better, but I'm just like, it happened that way because, well, you don't know right now. But it's like, it happened. So it's like, you can learn, you can move forward, or you can sit here and just like continue to think about all the shit you did wrong. It's like I said, it's just perspective. Like, and perspective is malleable.
Yeah.
I think that is such an undervalued like idea. People don't realize that, especially the young people. If you have a certain perspective on life and it's not working for you, if no one's ever told you, you can literally change and mold your perspective to like this ideal and this idea that you want to have in the world. Like, and it just takes time. Like, it takes time and it takes the right people around you to let you know, like, you know, when you're fucking up and when you're being egotistical and just little things, when you're being arrogant. Like, the right people around you to check you, I guess, is a good statement.
It's like fate is what is always meant to be, but destiny is how long it takes you to get there.
Damn, bro, you about to take me out there, Dave. Another one, dog. Another one.
Man.
Because to me, like, destiny is alterable. As in, like, I had an old coach. Always, he was big on this quote, and it was like, decisions determine destiny. As in, like, your destiny can be literally
you.
Yeah, you can literally like project where you're gonna head based off of your habits and the decisions you make today. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That deflates destiny like a lot, dude.
why do you
Habits.
say that?
Habits, routine. Like, what if you were destined to be a bum, but you just had really good habits and routine?
Whoa.
Well, no, so your fate is what's always supposed to happen.
Your destiny is based off of
destiny
your habits, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
fuck.
like if that bum's fate is to be a bum, then yeah, no matter what he did, he's always gonna be a bum.
That's
But
his
if that
fate.
bum's fate is to be a successful entrepreneur, then his destiny is supposed to be the path that gets him there.
Ooh.
So you're differentiating them now.
Yeah.
You're saying
No,
fate
yeah,
and
it's
destiny
separate.
are not the same thing.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
no,
a
they're two
great.
separate
Hey, that was a great way to
Those are
say it.
those are
Dave.
two very similar words. So
Oh yeah, no, they are. And I think most people just
they
by
misconstrue
default,
it a lot. They'll say the same thing.
yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Like,
as you guys are about, as all three of us differentiate the two words, this is new ground for me.
yeah, no, there's a difference between fate and destiny.
Uh,
And fate,
I
it's
don't see
like,
them the same.
cause
Or
like,
I do see them the same.
oh,
So let me ask you this, Dave. Do you think that everything you do is already predetermined?
That's good.
no,
That plays a lot into what this is talking about.
I think my fate is, and my fate is one day maybe I'll be like running MF as a global company.
Okay.
My destiny is the path that I choose to get there. But my fate is always going to be what it is. I'm always going to meet the same end. My same fate is going to be the same.
So you're saying your fate is literally up to you and what you decide it to be?
No, I can't. My fate is
The destiny is the end goal.
so
Fate is how you choose to go about it.
the other way around.
Other way, yeah. Fate is the end goal. Destiny is how you choose to go about it.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all are chosen to have a specific fate, and it's either going to be like you as a photographer or us as a business owner with MF.
Right.
Everyone has a fate, but not everyone reaches
Understand.
it. Yeah, or doesn't understand it or even attempt to reach it. So their destiny, they're in charge of their destiny. That's the free will part.
Word. Yeah.
And like they ended up being like, nah, my destiny is gonna be an 8 to 5.
So not every fate could get fulfilled.
Exactly. Not everyone.
Fate isn't guaranteed.
Exactly. Not everyone reaches their fate
Right.
because
Holy
of their destiny, which is basically their choices.
Mm-hmm. Holy shit.
But yeah, so fate is your goal. Destiny is how long it takes you to get there, if you even get there.
Do you guys know what Dharma is?
Dharma? No.
Yeah, Dharma is like DHARMA. It's like the idea that it's like your purpose, like what you're supposed to do. And it's like, it's not like you're supposed to run a company, you're supposed to be a basketball player. It's just like, it's more so like your character, like who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a leader, you're supposed to be a father figure. You're supposed to be someone who,
A
you know,
hunter or a gatherer.
literally like that type of thing. And to me, that's just like what it ties into in terms of like fate and destiny is just like breaking down like what do you think your dharma is? You know what I'm saying? Like what do you think it is that you're supposed to do with your time here, and your human experience? You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, like once you figure that out, I feel like your destiny is something that you get to choose. And right now, personally, I'm having like that struggle with determinism, because it's like, to me, I believe that everything happens for a reason. But if that's the case, like, so is everything predetermined?
Yeah, it's fair to think.
You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, like, should I, if that's real, should I just sit back and try to find the best ways to enjoy the ride that it is that I'm having?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I will say this. I'm at a point right now where it's like I'm going through some shit, and like coming to this podcast, I was just like, fuck, man, like let me get my shit together to have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was low key like, fuck, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, but I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm just be as honest as I can, because I was like, man, I'm not gonna let Evan down. Like, I can't reschedule with Evan.
thank
Like,
you.
this is one of those things. Like, let me just get this shit done. Like, but
I feel
what
like
did I say, Dave?
the idea of like if everything is predetermined, then I could just sit back and like almost like fuck off. But I feel like the coincidences that happen in life, how like the timing of things, that only happens because you put in the work. Because you didn't
Yes.
just sit back and fuck off.
That's the karma you get from not
Exactly.
fucking off and just chilling. Like,
Yeah.
you're right.
So like destiny requires some self-sacrifice in the terms of work. Like,
Legit.
It's gonna be hard, which is why most people say fuck the destiny and they never reach their fate.
Damn.
Low key, I'm not gonna lie. Like when y'all asked me to be on this, that's what I was getting at. I was like, it was hard to understand. I was like, yo, like what the fuck? Like really? Like when you asked me, I was like, yo, all right, yeah, I'll be on the pod for sure. But it was affirmation to me, like, oh, like you're doing shit that you said you would be doing. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah, that's important.
like I always said to myself, man, if I get in a space with Evan where I can be creative and be myself, I know he's at a certain level that lets me know like I'm at a certain level. So it's like it was affirmation to me, like I was putting in time to get to a certain place, and now I'm at that certain place. You know what I'm saying? I know I've told you in the past, like just through Instagram, I'm like I feel like you're at such like a pong. You and Dave are such like a pong stage of this creative journey, as in like you guys are just starting off, but it's like you're putting so much energy and time into it that like the karma you guys are gonna get from this is gonna be, to me, is gonna be wild, because y'all are doing things on such a high level and you're doing things at such a certain standard. I'm just like, yo, right now it doesn't even seem like much to people who aren't aware of it, who are in the creative community. To me, I'm just like, I'm watching every step y'all take, because it's like you're putting so much time and energy into something that you're building karma for later. And it's just like in that space, it's like I'm hella curious to see like where that shit takes you. You know what I'm saying? It's just
That's
like,
too. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's just like it's so cool to talk to you, because it's like you don't know where it's gonna go, but it's like the fact that you guys are just so willing just to try shit and do it at a certain high level. It's just like fuck, man. Like I said, a lot of people in the public, they don't understand where it's gonna go, but it's like that's why I like push like the MF name to people. I'm just like, they're doing things that no other people are trying to do, or they're doing things at a certain level that other people are doing, but they're not at that certain level. It's just like it's super cool to watch. Like,
Oh, thank you, dude.
no doubt.
That shit feels like if it encourages us a lot to continue the mission, just because as you get deeper, bro, one of the biggest quotes that applies to all this shit, like to growth,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I think the biggest quote that could apply to growth is "Mo money, mo problems." Straight up, bro.
100%.
Straight up, dude. Straight up. Like the more growth you have, the more obstacles come. It doesn't end. It really doesn't. And so I'm really glad that as a creative especially, you can appreciate like the work that MF has done, because like we're just trying to do it, bro.
Yeah.
One of the other quotes that's been going on along in modern times is "for the love of the game."
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, MF is like the epitome of that. Like we really just are out here just trying to do it because we want to do it.
Right.
We know where it can go. Don't get me wrong. Like we're not visualizing where this is gonna go, profit wise, growth wise, audience wise, all that stuff. But there's just something fun that we have amongst ourselves, amongst our own team. Like we're over here planning a little powwow where we get to just watch the whole season that we produced together, back to back, back to back. Like that's the background music of the night, is like all of our productions.
Yeah.
And it feels really cool. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that self motivates us.
Mm-hmm.
But everything we've just talked about right now, about like all the factors that come into play that don't happen from the self, all of the outside motivation
Yes.
factors, and being able to just like welcome them in without letting it become a vice.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about vices, all that shit, man. Oh, I love it.
For sure. I think another question I have for you and Dave is like, and I think it's so important to like young creatives, like just trying to find their way, is just like when you guys reach a certain point where you're just like, I don't know what to do next, or like this shit seems hard. It's like, how do you guys go about navigating those rough moments where you're just like, we don't know how we're gonna do this idea, we're just gonna do it. Like, cause the mobilizing to me is what people lack. Is like, I mean, a bunch of people are just like, I'm an idea man. It's like, yeah, bro. It's like, have you been in the creative community, bro? Like, there's a bunch of us out here. It's just like to mobilize on those ideas. To me, it's like, how do you guys go about like just being like, yo, fuck it, like we're just gonna do it, like.
I don't know, man. I mean, Midnight Sessions was the only one that where we could really say we just did it. The podcast, we saved up for it, and then we just did it. Like, we got the gear that we needed, and then we just did it. Because this shit could have been a fucking fail. Like, we knew the mics were going to be good, but that doesn't mean we know how to connect the XLRs to the mixer and how to get clean audio every time. And we just went for it. But like also with our next project, like the next things of MF Pearl, we're just kind of thinking to ourselves, luckily, we have a first project that has built enough credibility that anyone else that we're going to partner with is just going to trust us.
For sure.
I know that that's not everyone's situation, but like Midnight Sessions is a lot of people's first situation. You're trying to create a project that like needs to gain credibility. I think people don't even know that word a lot, is credibility. Like, how credible are you?
Like in the creative space,
Yeah, like
how
just,
can you explain that like in a creative like community though? Like,
do you back your shit up? You know what I mean? Like the shit you talk about when you go to a market and you're over here talking to all these people and you're just a fucking like person who's just wandering around seeing what vendors are there. When you're at a market and stuff, are you able to like show your work? Can you send them a link to something? Have you published it? Because as much as you want to be an artist that's reclusive and a secret and a mystery, it ain't going to work here. The moment you tell someone you're from El Paso, the mystery goes away. And that's why so many musicians struggle here in El Paso. I'm so confident in this idea, in this opinion that like the moment you say you're a local musician, everyone feels like they already know your story.
ooh.
So I get what you're saying by you want to be mystique. I get it. I get the approach. But I don't know. When you're really trying to build a platform that's solidified, you don't want to be that. You don't want to be reclusive.
Right.
You don't.
Well said, man. Well said.
I think just to add on to that, that your initial question about like how do you do it?
Yeah.
I think it's two things. It requires a leap of faith and confidence. And Evan and I, we know where we are skill-wise. We know what we can produce. We know our creative eye and what we can make and create. That's just half the battle. The other half is that leap of faith, which is scary because you're basically betting on yourself.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Shit,
dude.
bro.
And if you have confidence, then you can confidently know how much you're worth. And that allows you to bet on yourself, which allows you to take that leap of faith. So I think those two things, it's faith and confidence.
Yeah. And then you start asking, like, where
Good shit, Dave. Goddamn.
where does confidence come from?
Legit.
The time you spend researching, the time you spend, like, practicing your craft,
Bro,
all that stuff, bro.
Say that shit again, Evan.
Straight
Where
up,
does
like-
confidence
like-
come from, bro?
Like David just said it, bro. The formula is confidence and what was the other part?
Faith.
faith, bro.
Two things.
Legit.
But you got to be prepared because that stuff gets deeper, man. Like
Mhm.
confidence comes from, well, you can break it. We can break both of them. Confidence comes from repetition, doing it over and over again,
Yes.
experimentation, open-mindedness, willingness to be wrong. Where does faith come from? Like just your surroundings, the people around you.
Legit, bro.
You know what I mean? Like if you have a bunch of people that are fucking doubting you all the time, you're not gonna have a lot of faith or confidence too. Confidence applies to both of them. There's like a Venn diagram when we're talking about this, but yeah, dude, like
That's well said, bro.
how do we do it? Like how do we stay above the weeds of the creative community?
Yeah, like
Psh, there's a lot of blinders and not blinders going around. Because when you jump into a conversation with David and I, there's a lot of hating going around, bro. Not in a way where I'm trying to downplay the community, but like I'm just trying to use like hating in the word of like Kendrick and Drake's
okay.
beef of their song.
Yeah.
Everybody's glorifying Kendrick for being a world-class hater now and shit like that. So I'm just only using the word hate in a light sense. But when it comes to criticizing other work and using it as a form of like reference, it's big, dude. Like I'm so competitive. And you ask how do you do it? Like without shame, I am fucking competitive, dude. Like I want to be the best platform in El Paso because only because El Paso is not known to fund projects. Like like as an El Paso creative, you don't have the confidence to just get funded unless you move somewhere. So the community that I'm a part of has built that dog mentality of me as well. It's where I just feel like I have to be the best in where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so how do you do it? Dude, I'm competitive. I create false narratives sometimes. I'm maybe more dramatic about things than I need to be. All these things. But that plays into the bigger part of like everything that David had been saying. Believing in yourself. Like I believe in myself so much that it comes to the detriment of like sometimes I'll criticize people extra hard.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to be honest about it, man. I'm willing to say I have my flaws about my ego. I have my flaws about my own confidence. But at the end of the day, man, how do we do it? I think one thing that like the Venn diagram comes in where we could both agree, because David and I, when it comes to like the confidence and like the need to prove yourselves, I feel like we definitely differentiate right there. But the confidence level merges a lot in how we do it. And I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, I don't want to do a midnight sessions with no one else. I don't want to ask somebody else what the ISO level's at or stuff like that. Like David and I have such a routine and such a chemistry to where it's like, how do we do it? It's in the sense of like we trusted the process.
Right.
We got to a point to where we trusted so much, and it's a flow state for us both now. That's how we do it,
Right?
Because it's a flow state.
Yeah, you guys
Like,
work as a unit.
That's the
at this
conclusion I
point.
wanted to come to. The struggles all happened in the first couple of years.
Right.
I butted heads with David in the beginning because I was just mad about shit that I was on my, like, it just got so rocky on my own end
Yeah.
that I started blaming David for shit. You know what I mean? On the, like very briefly, it wasn't even like a long trudge of stuff, but it was for a brief moment. It got so bad that I lost so much sight of the project that I was even like blaming David for stuff that I was completely causing. And yeah, I mean, now I think we finally channeled the true chemistry that was always meant to be unlocked. And that's how it's done. Teamwork, dude. At some point, your own venture will get to a point where you can't handle it and you need a team around you.
Yes.
And crafting that team is going to be so important. I don't want interns that just
Right.
only see this as a 3-month project.
Right.
No, dude, I want people in for the long haul. So now the team has become a 4-person team. Me, David, Eric, Sean. And there's other people that have the opportunity, and whenever they're ready, it'll be solidified. It's a 5-person team, 6-person team. But just the thought of being open to like a team being formed. Also, dude, like, that's how we've done it. I hear some people talk to us about like when they interview me on a pod and they say that they do a lot of it on their own. And I'm like, damn.
It's a lot.
Sometimes I'll come in and like half the setup's already done because David's been here just setting it up, you know? And that's so clutch, dude. Like, you got to build your team right. Like, the MF team is sturdy, dog.
I hear it, bro. I hear it.
Sturdy, bro. All the way, like, not even just the technical aspect, like the we all know our role side.
Yeah.
Like, even the person that has the egotistical characteristic of him, me, where, like, I want to do everything myself, I've learned to take the back seat, bro. And it's shown that MF can thrive when it's a team effort. So, I mean, it's a journey, man.
Yeah.
The question you asked originally was how are we able to keep all this up? It's a team now.
Bro, thank you for saying that,
It's a
bro.
team now, man.
For sure. Thank you for saying that. Cause
But
like
the journeys and the pitfalls and the hurdles
it's
of
involved.
creating a team
Right.
are gonna happen. You're gonna pick a teammate that's wrong at some point. And you're gonna have to come to the terms of like not having them on the team no more. For whatever reason. Sometimes they're really deliberate, like, oh no shit, that's wrong. Sometimes they're like, oh, for the long term, that might not work out. And we've had both.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, man. I think that's super important. It's like you hear it all the time growing up. It's like you are who you hang around with.
Yes.
Super important. Like as an adult, like I said, every day counts. So when you're around certain people more often than others, it's like you realize that their influence on you it matters, man. So it's just like hearing like the MF team and meeting the MF team like through like the midnight sessions. It's just like everyone's on the same.
Sturdy, right?
Everyone's on the same page, man.
And we all have the same goal, man.
Yeah, everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
Oh,
everyone knows their job, and it's just like, it's just cool to see, bro. Because it's like, Evan's out here. If you ever seen the midnight sessions behind the scenes, Evan's like trying to make sure everyone's taking care of the guests, the cameras, production, and then everyone on production is just like, we're good. Dave's in the back, like Dave said. Everyone else is said. I don't know all the other guys' names, man, but it's like everyone's just like in their position when they need to be. Everyone's on it, bro. So it's just really cool to see, man.
And that's where it goes, man. That's how you take it to the next step.
Legit, bro. Legit.
At some point, you're gonna reach the ceiling on your own, and you do gotta just like be honest with yourself. And
Well
just, like,
said.
okay, I need the next person.
Well said. One thing I do want to just talk about before we like get off of this.
Yeah.
Like karma, man. Like
Yeah,
I know
we'll
I
close
keep,
off on karma.
I
For
keep
sure.
I keep bringing it up, man, but it's just like I don't know why this past year I've been like there's a part of me that's been hyper fixated on it, and it's just the idea that it's just like it's this unbinary thing. It's just like a force that's just as real as gravity. It's neither here nor there. It's neither positive or negative, but it's just there. And I say that because it's like whether you know it or not, like you're cultivating your karma to a certain point, and it's gonna lead you, and you can literally like watch the trajectory of like your destiny based off of like your habits and like the karma you're cultivating right now. As in like an example, when you're young and you first had to learn how to write your name, everyone sucks at it because you just learned how to do it.
And
you
now
know? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but you put time and energy to it, and you start doing it every day. And what's the karma for that? You write nice.
Handwriting, dude.
Your handwriting.
Yeah, dude.
You know, so to me, like I'm at that point of understanding it as just like this force, as like the time and energy you put into anything, whether you know it or not, whether you have intention behind it or not, you're cultivating a particular type of energy for yourself later. So it's like with that idea, it's just like, to me, it helps me be more mindful, like what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Because it's like, I know that, like I said, every day counts. And then when you break it down even more, every fucking hour counts.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm trying some shit, if I'm trying to do something on a consistent basis, it's like, I know I'm doing it for a particular reason. So it's like, if you just get off of work and you go home and you just watch Netflix, it's like, understand, there is karma to that too. And the karma to that is just like, well, it's really nothing. There's nothing that you build to that. But if you're trying to get better at something constantly and you're putting time and energy into like something, whether it be cooking, photography, whatever, it's like whatever you put your time and energy into, you're going to see some type of product, you know, later on. And I bring it up because it's just like we live in a day and age where it's like distraction is so common. You get off of work, you go home, and you can just put some shit on, and that's it. And all I can think about is like, well, what are you cultivating? What type of energy you're cultivating? What type of like, what karma are you trying to get to? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and I know I brought it up before, but it's like, seeing you guys at such an early stage, and I've told Evan before, it's like, I feel like you guys are building such a dope karma for yourself later on, because it's like, you're doing so much now, and your standard is so high, that later on, I feel like there's some type of reward later down the line. And that's not the end of the line, it's just like, that's what's next. You know, you put so much time and energy into like the creativity behind the podcasting and like the live sessions. It's just like at some point it has to come to a T where it's just like somebody or something has to.
Boom, there it is.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, well, what's next? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel the need to bring that up because it's like I feel like people get lost in trying to stop themselves from being bored. You know what I'm saying? People people don't know what to do with their bored when they're bored nowadays. And it's just like, bro, anything you're doing, it's going to accumulate to something. And if you're not happy with that something, it's like you have to change the way you're thinking about how to spend your time and energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to leave off with today. So
Appreciate that.
oh, yeah.
Jordan ZAMUDIO, man. Clocking in like at 3 hours right here, man. This is the motherfucking episode right here, dog. New world record, boy. Hey, man. Jordan, dude, thank you so much for coming on and just sharing, like, what's on your mind, man. Everything, dude.
No doubt, Evan. I appreciate you and Dave having me here, man. And hopefully we can do some other shit in the future, man.
Dude, absolutely, bro. Season 8, we want you on the team, man.
For sure, man.
When you're
Let me
ready,
know.
bro. We'll make sure that we have more scheduling planned out. Dude, it's really good to talk to a creative that just has the right intention behind what they're doing, man. There's a lot of people that judgment plays a big part in it, and I'm not gonna act as if I don't judge a book by its cover. So when it comes to just like, there's a lot of people that I could easily just choose to just talk to, but I just don't know if they have the right intentions behind their work and their craft, and I think you display it too. Man, even if I don't know, even if you didn't have the right intention, I just feel like I know you so well that I don't know, I would have overlooked it or something. Luckily, you have the right ones, and it's good to just like talk 3 hours about it, man.
Legit, bro.
Like we really fleshed it out, dude. I feel like I have passing conversations, so I'm glad that we had this one fleshed out.
Same, bro. Same. Like I feel like every time I see you, you're in it and you're doing what you gotta do, and it's just like it's hella cool to see. It's like, but yeah, for sure. Sometimes I wish I could just sit down and just have a conversation with you and Dave just to see where y'all at, man, because it helps me understand where I'm at and what I need to do. So I appreciate y'all having me on, man.
You know what's really cool is that the conversation we had, I can't say this about a lot of people, but the one that we had with you, I literally feel like I learned and grew from it.
Nice.
Which
Wow,
is
Dave.
like, I can't say
Yes.
that about any conversation, you know? So
I know,
like,
man.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
making the time and being down here with us.
For sure.
Yeah,
for
hell yeah,
sure.
man.
No doubt, no doubt.
Hey man, you know how it is over here at the pod, boy. Tell him what's up, Jordan. Throw up the signs.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man. MF Pearl, don't forget.
Jordan,
Shit.
where can people find you at?
For sure, I'm at Zamudio.915, ZAMUDIO.915 on Instagram, Jordan Zamudio on Facebook.
What's
I
the
got
website?
a website, jordanzamudio.com, man.
Designed it, brother.
Easy.
Tell him about it.
Designed it, curated it, whatever you see on there, that's all me, man. I ain't
Yes,
hired
sir.
nobody for it. Like, I'm just trying to make it as best I can. Like, I appreciate y'all for supporting me, El Paso. Love you guys, man. Evan, Dave, appreciate y'all for having me on.
Of course.
Thank you guys.
Anytime, you're welcome.
So.
Man, that's how we do it over here, boys. Legends only in the building. Make sure that you guys show love to the pod, bro. Make sure you guys show love to all of our guests. Follow them on all their platforms. You guys can find us on Instagram. Most updated information at MF Pearl. You can find all of our full-length episodes on our YouTube or on our website at MF Pearl on YouTube, of course. The website, mfpearl.com. But if you guys are listening to these podcasts on your favorite streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Pod, Amazon Music, you guys can just, I don't know, man, share it, leave a rating, save it, whatever you guys can do to show love on the platforms. Make sure you guys do. Help us get out there. Trying to connect the Frontera to the rest of the world over here. But that's going to do it for today, boys and girls. You know how we do it, man. Every Wednesday. Legends only in the building.
Ow, let's do it.
Live at MFHQ. Yeah.